It's time for the dreamers to awaken. Aloha, dreamers, light guardians, shifters within this beautiful holographic matrix. Thank you for joining in once again for another inspirational, consciousness shifting, mind expanding podcast presented here through Paradigm Shift Central, a portal for inspirational, conscious creators and leaders, for another very special podcast that we do. This is our Dream Class podcast, where we come together as a team to be able to practice talking about dreams, lucid dreaming, astral projection, dream stories, tips and tricks, all the sorts of things that you want to be able to dive into to be able to help inspire and assist you on your personal practice of dreaming and expanding your own consciousness. So as again, I am joined by some fellow amazing conscious creators here joining us on today's broadcast, and just gonna click a couple buttons here. And fellow conscious creators who are joined in on the broadcast, please feel free to gently unmute your microphones, and we'll say hello to all the amazing people who are listening right now. So go ahead, make some noise, send some love. Dreamers unite. We love you guys.
What's up, guys?
Awesome. All right, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for joining in as we get things ready to start off here for another one of our Dream Class broadcasts. So for those of you who may be brand new to this, first of all, go ahead, drop an 1111 in the YouTube chat if you guys can hear us loud and clear. I'll give you a little bit of an introduction, then we're going to get right into the discussion. So these are team podcasts that we do live every Thursday. So if you're brand new here, be sure to check the YouTube info. You can find all the playlists for past episodes as well. We've got plenty of things to be able to check out there in the archive. We've also got a team chat server, a Discord server. You guys are welcome to be able to connect there. That will give you additional information and updates that you won't be able to get anywhere else, including our regular team meditations that we do Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, plus a really cool way to be able to engage with the community. And you can find all the podcast episodes on MP3 at iTunes as well. And thank you again to our Patreon supporters. You guys help make this broadcast possible for the entire community. If you're listening to this and this is your first time here, Patreon is a way that you can support not only myself but also the entire project and yourself too by joining with a monthly membership. And when you join at the $11 a month, you can join as a leading member, and that will give you access to being able to join our weekly on-air podcast, plus so much more to be able to help support you as a conscious creator. So thank you again, Patreon supporters. Thank you again to everyone for your support in all forms. And with that said, we are going to get right into things with a little bit of a meditation, and then we'll get right into the discussion. And just as a little bit of context, again, you know, the Dream Class, this is a podcast. This is like a topic within the podcast that we've actually started doing it back in 2016. So it's really, really exciting to be able to continue to do this, because I think this is just going to be a topic that's going to continue to prove to be more and more relevant. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. But just as a bigger picture, again, Paradigm Shift Central, this started off as a little club in my college back in 2009. We've been creating conscious media over all these years. So this is like, you're taking part in something that's got some deep roots to it. We got a lot of momentum here as a community, and we've got a lot of amazing people here who are joining in. And if you're here for the first time, go ahead and leave a 333 in the comments down below if you're tuned in on YouTube or listening to this afterwards. And so again, if you're brand new to this, be sure to check out the links in the info down below, and that will also include links for all the creators that you see on today's episode. If you're watching this live, be sure to check back 24 hours later, and we'll have all the links there as well. Thank you again to our moderators in the chat, and thank you again everybody for just holding sacred space here. We're going to start off with a little bit of a meditation, and that will just kind of help anchor us into this intention, this visualization of being here as a community. And then from there, we're going to get right into the core of the discussion. And just as a little bit of a container, we're gonna aim to keep this broadcast within 2.5 hours. Dream Class has a tendency to turn into like a 4-hour broadcast, but tonight it has to be 2.5 hours. So we're gonna make the most of it, and we're just gonna jam pack it with as much exciting and educational and inspirational information as possible. So with that said, thank you again, everyone. Let's get ready to join in with a little bit of a meditation. And oh, by the way, my name is Brendon, for those of you who haven't met me yet. Mystic Spider-Man, Skull Babylon. Hey, you'll get to meet everybody else as we go through this. All right, team. When you're ready, go ahead and just allow yourself to get into a nice, comfortable position. This will just be a very, very simple meditation, something that we do at the regular for all of our podcasts. Go ahead and gently close your eyes. Straighten up your posture. Open up your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your face. And as you're listening to my voice, gently begin connecting with your breath. Soft, gentle inhales And soft, gentle exhales through the nose and the mouth. Breathing here, we're just going to bring our awareness into our heart space. Taking a moment here to be able to reflect with gratitude. Gratitude for this beautiful, sacred digital space that we are creating together. Gratitude for yourself for showing up. Gratitude for the other members of the community, both on air and in the chat, and listening to afterwards. And so just holding that gratitude in your heart, you can even put your hands on your heart. We're just going to visualize all of us sitting in a circle. And you can imagine us sitting in a circle, maybe in a yoga studio, which is again how this project started many years ago, just as a little club in a yoga studio. You can imagine us maybe sitting under the life tree or the dream tree, as we call it, something we'll be going back to within this broadcast. You can just imagine us sitting in whatever place you feel called to imagine. Taking a moment here, visualizing, looking around the circle and just seeing the faces of all the people here. Just taking a moment to be able to honor their journey, their unique reflection, their path that has led them to this moment, and just expressing gratitude and also receiving that gratitude in return. Just add a little bit of a soft, gentle smile to your face if you wish. And just taking a moment here in your own silence, I'm going to stop talking and just take this opportunity to be able to connect in your heart, to feel the presence of this incredible community, this bigger story, this story of all of us continuing to show up for ourselves, for each other, for the collective, as shifters, as light guardians, as dreamers. Take a moment here in your own silence and just share this gratitude while also receiving this gratitude in return. Go ahead and do that just for a few more moments here. Just keeping that gentle rhythm of the breath. Just allowing this visualization of this circled discussion. Just allow it to continue to be in the back of your mind and in your heart as we move through this discussion here tonight. Take one more moment here, thanking everybody again. All these familiar and new faces, soul family, soul tribe, dreamer tribe coming together. Carrying this gratitude in your heart, gently from here, bringing awareness back to your physical space. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Awesome. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again for being here and for being a part of this community. So, with that said, let's get right into the discussion for today's Dream Class. So Dream Class, why are we doing this? What is the intention of doing Dream Class? So like I said, Dream Class, we started doing this broadcast, this specific podcast topic back in 2016. And this was something that just kind of came from my personal interest in knowing that dreams would continue to serve as a pivotal part within the collective awakening, within this collective shift in consciousness. And why is that? You know, for me, dreams have always been such an important topic because they are something that directly connect us to the awareness that we are multidimensional beings by nature, that we are more than our physical body. And this isn't just something that's just like, oh, that's a science fiction idea. Oh, that's just an interesting theory. With dreams, we experience this. We experience this every night or every time that we go to sleep. Literally is this idea that our consciousness is existing beyond our physical body. And for some people, this may be very new. This may be a very new concept. And so keeping in mind that there are people who are tuned into this broadcast who may be quite new to this is a chance for each of us as a community member to practice showing up, to practice sharing our experience, our wisdom, to be role models, leaders, and ultimately to be able to practice having discussion about the things that we don't normally get a chance to talk about related to, like I said, dreaming, dream experience, multidimensional awareness, very, vivid dreams. Maybe people are going to be sharing dreams about like like contact that they've had with like other dimensional entities, experiences that they've had with loved ones who have passed on, lucid dreams, becoming aware that we are dreaming within the dream, all the spectrum that you can imagine with dreams, as well as just kind of opening up to the idea of what are dreams. And so I'll kind of start off just with a little bit of just kind of like a painting the picture here, and then we're going to pass the talk and stick around. I'd love to just kind of get an idea of who I'm going to be passing it to next. So if we have any we'll pass over to Kristen, and then from there we'll figure out the next person. The way how we're going to go through this, we're going to invite each person, because we have a lot of people on tonight, which is wonderful. So when we're going around the circle, I want you, each person here, to kind of practice just introducing yourself briefly, and from there talk a little bit about what your relationship to dreams are. So you can say like, you know, like, oh, I've been writing down my dreams since I was a child, you know, or maybe I'm brand new, etc. Why is it important to you? Why are you here? That's an important thing to be able to reflect on. And then to be also to be able to share any practical tips, practical advice that you want to be able to put forth to the audience. Something I would say like, you know, this really worked for me. This really worked within my dream practice. And then from there, if you have a particular story that you want to be able to share within the dream, relative to a dream that you want to be able to bring to the circle, we'll do that. And then from there, other people, if you guys will have a direct response to people as they're sharing stories, we can do that. But again, we'll keep in mind that we're going to keep things under 2.5 hours here. We're going to move through as many people as possible throughout this discussion. So really quickly, for me, again, you know, once I kind of realized, and it came from someone literally just saying to me when I went to a lecture once all about dreaming and astral projection and lucid dreaming, they started off their lecture literally just by being like, you are a multidimensional being. And I was just like, what? Like, this is like, okay, oh, I'm listening. You have my attention. Tell me more. Tell me more. And again, you know, they basically explained it in this way that wasn't too hard to explain, where basically, again, we have our physical body, but we have more than that. We have more than just the physical body. We have the energetic body. We have the astral body, and more than this, the mental body as well. But within the context of dreams, it's basically this idea that, you know, while your physical body is laying to rest, your astral body is literally in what is known as the astral realms. And within the astral realms, the thing that's incredibly fascinating is that through the astral realms, we experience reality in a very different but very similar way to the way we experience it here. And the thing that I've always kind of leaned back to is this basic idea, and I'll just say this and we'll pass it to Kristen, that when you begin to understand how the dream reality works, you actually begin to understand how to become a better creator within this reality, because you realize that it follows the same principles. One of those main principles being that it is a holographic perception-based reality, meaning as you think, so things create. Things will literally like come as a result of what it is that you're projecting into this reality. And so if you think you can fly, you can fly. If you want to teleport to the pyramids of Egypt, you can teleport to the pyramids of Egypt. These things can happen. This is a direct experience. And here within this reality, it follows the same principles, but we have this additional element of time and density. So it's a little bit different, but ultimately it's the same thing. So the purpose of having this discussion is, again, for us to be able to awaken on multiple dimensions, and for us to be able to practice documenting the experiences that we are having within the dream space. Because the fact is, within the dream space, it is another opportunity for our soul to be able to learn and to grow. And if we simply dismiss it, then we are dismissing this opportunity for us to be able to accelerate our growth far more than we would be able to if we were to completely dismiss it, you know? So yeah, you're learning during the day, and then when you go to sleep, you're also learning, and it's a chance for you to get to meet more of your soul. And we'll get more into the details of what this dream space actually has to offer. And again, I would encourage people to go back and check out the past dream class broadcasts as well, because there's always additional information there. But at the end of the day, this is about becoming better dreamers within the dream. This is about us realizing that we are more than our physical body, that we are multidimensional beings, exploring what that means, and opening ourselves up to the potential that is there, that is within arm's reach, by bringing more attention to our dream practice, and knowing that the dream practice, whether you're working simply towards dream recall or lucid dreaming or astral projection or connecting with loved ones who have passed on or contacting other dimensional entities, aliens, whatever you want to call them, OUs, this is something that for many of us requires discipline and requires consistency and can be very, very challenging. And knowing that that is why we are here as a community, to be able to support and inspire and hold space for the discussion, which will inspire all of us. Because again, as you wake up within your dreams, you're helping all of us kind of wake up to this, and your experiences help expand the experience of the entire collective. So with that said, we're going to pass the talk and stick around. And just as a quick kind of check in with the YouTube chat, how many people here, like, how long have you been on your spiritual journey? For those of you in the YouTube chat, go ahead, leave a comment down below as we move into this. And as we're moving through this YouTube chat, please feel free to leave some comments, leave some questions that you may have, and we'll work through it as we move through this discussion. So with that said, thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. Kristen, we're going to pass it over to you, and from there we'll keep passing the talking stick around. And just to get an idea, who would like to go next after Kristen, and then we can figure that out as we go. We'll pass over to Chris. Perfect. All right, Kristen, thank you so much for being here. And Kristen's also got a special guest with them today. I'll let Kristen introduce that guest. Nonetheless, here we go, Kristen. Thank you so much for being here. And when you're ready, the talking stick is in your hands. Go right ahead.
Beautiful. Hello, sweet family. Yes, I thought Baby Yoda would like to join us. I could try a little, oh, yes, I'm no good at voices, so we're not even going to try that, but pretend, insert Baby Yoda voice here.
Thank you, Kristen. I am happy to be here. I am.
That was pretty good. Thanks, Brendon. So, dreams. Oh, yeah. My name's Kristen, also known as Pinocchio Rising. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Um, Dreams have always been something that I've been really connected with since I was a kid. I've always been interested in them, learning about the symbols and the shapes and the colors and kind of how it relates to our waking life. And then as I grew, my interest became more deep. And so throughout college, I learned a lot through Carl Jung and his theories on the dream space. And just as it's progressed, it's kind of become a really interesting learning space for me to really connect with the fact that we are multidimensional beings, and in the dream reality we connect with our astral bodies, as Brendon was saying. And so to me it's interesting to always connect with the different layers of the multidimensional reality and how they come through in the dream space, and then being able to bring that information back into this reality and kind of I guess dissect them and look and see how it's all interconnected. So um, I guess one of my favorite topics it would be lucid dreaming. I do highly recommend mugwort tea for anybody who is looking at getting into lucid dreaming. Also, just really ritualizing your nighttime bed practices, getting a clean space, and making sure you shut the electronics off 30 minutes before bed. Setting an intention before you go to sleep too can be really cool. So, like for me, one of my favorite places to go is to the Dream Tree and hang out with all of you amazing people. So, sometimes I'll be like, I'm going to set the intention, I'm going to go to the Dream Tree. And then I go to bed and I wake up and here I am, hanging out with all my amazing soul family at the Dream Tree and just kind of seeing where it goes from there. But yeah, another really cool thing I've gotten to experience is actually like astral projection within the dream space. So it's kind of a topic that really came in once I started practicing in this reality. So, but yeah, anyways, there's all kinds of options if you guys are interested. Just yeah, keep digging, looking for the truth, and seeking how, and you'll get there.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen. And just before we pass the talking stick, any particular stories, even like a short one that you might want to share, like maybe like a lucid dream, be it a recent one or anything else,
Yeah,
if you
sure.
want to expand? Sure. Yeah, go for it.
So the lucid dreams are really cool because it starts off kind of like, almost like you're in a movie, and then you just, while you're in the dream space, you look around and you notice like, oh, I'm in a dream. I can see that there is a fire going on over there. Maybe I want to go check out that fire. And so, for example, like uh, when I start off at the dream tree, I'll be hanging out with all of you all and we'll be having a good time. And then in the dream I'll kind of create more things, so it's like, I would love to see some fairies here, boom, fairies show up. Or a really fun thing to do is kind of teleporting. So like I'll be like, oh, I would love to go and see the ocean right now, and you kind of like imagine a portal appearing within the dream and stepping through the portal. So it's kind of similar to the meditation space, except a lot more real because you're physically, well, I mean, not physically, but astrally in the space. And so just kind of really getting creative while you're in the dream space after you've realized that you are dreaming, and kind of creating from there what you want to see. I've also had plenty of dreams where I'll just choose to like fly out of wherever I'm at. So like I'm on a boat and there's no way out. Maybe there's people that need to be saved. And so like in that moment, I will kind of like make up the ability to fly and just like get uber strength and be able to like pick up 10 people at once and carry them to shore. So I really like utilizing the lucid dreaming whenever I'm having like a bad dream, so to speak. So sometimes too, it's interesting to see how our fears from this reality will creep into our dream space. And so like being able to conquer those fears with the awareness that you are lucid dreaming and you are creating your reality, and then being able to bring that back into this reality as well. So I guess an example there would be I had a dream the other night where I guess I could give a little back, but it was like I had finally gotten some really good feedback from my dad on how proud he was of me and everything going on in my life. And then whenever I entered my dream space, it was like my dad was actually being like, "Oh, you're not, you're not doing good, or this isn't going to go well," and just kind of like really being down on me. And I was able to, in that moment, be like, "This is just a dream," because I can remember the message from my dad in my reality. And so that kind of helped walk me through the bad dream, I guess, and then be able to turn it back into a positive space. So, yeah.
Thank you, Kristen, so much for sharing and for getting the dream ball rolling here. And yeah, like that was one thing I actually would be curious, like as we kind of move through this, if somebody feels called to share, just keeping in mind that there are going to be people here who are going to experience dreams in a variety of ways. And I think it's important for us to be able to kind of even shift our paradigm on how we look at nightmares, like how we look at quote unquote negative dreams. From the perspective of dreams, again, it's always like there's a teacher here, and to not kind of take dreams, how do I say this? I don't want to say like don't like take them so personally, even though they absolutely are incredibly personal. But what I mean is to kind of like be able to almost remove yourself from the situation. So say you wake up from a nightmare and you're just or you could just be like, oh, like that feels really crappy, and you're very much in the emotion. But it's important to kind of like step outside of that emotion and observe it. Why am I feeling that emotion? What am I learning from this emotion? What can I do to be able to have perhaps like bring more consciousness to this? And like you said, oftentimes when we do see things within our dreams that may be challenging us, those things are actually there to show us our strength at the same time. And I think that in itself is a big part of what dreams are. They're almost like, again, it's kind of, it's like this, it's very much like a holodeck. It's very much like a Star Trek holodeck, where again, it's like a simulation that's there to be able to kind of like run us through something that we can grow from, without having to take place quite in the physical, but it's still something that we evolve our soul through. Nonetheless, it's equally valuable in that context if you're able to kind of continue to bring awareness and recall it. So again, we're gonna keep passing it around. Thank you again, Chris. We're gonna pass it over to Chris here. One thing that I'll just say real quick, another thing we'll get into a little bit later, because in tips and tricks and everything like that. Quick tip, like smoking cannabis. This is something that I think for a lot of people, if they haven't heard this yet, that's something that can impede dream recall. I know there are kind of ways where you could balance cannabis use, and then there's like other herbs that you could be using at the same time. There's probably a different formula there, but it's going to be different for everybody. My own experience, even leading into this, like I know that when I'm not working with cannabis, my dream recall immediately begins to come back. And then if I can continue to focus on that, then it begins to kind of move just from like kind of sort of like still meaningful dreams, but eventually moving into like the fantastical dreams. And I think that's kind of like what a lot of us, we're like, our soul is kind of yearning for that, in the same way we like a good like fantasy movie or a fantasy action sci-fi. It's like our soul is kind of like longing for that too. And it's like, oh well, yeah, that was a cool dream, but it was like very much kind of a reflection of something that I'm familiar with. But it's like, it's like take me up on the mothership, or like take me to the Andromeda galaxy, take me this, take me that, take me that. But again, I think it's kind of one of those things where the way how dreams work really quick, and I'll pass over to Chris, is we receive the dreams that we are ready for. So it's kind of like this idea that the dreams are being curated for us. It's not like it's literally this idea where it's just like, oh, they're just randomly popping out of this. It's this is where it gets into the very multidimensional idea. And again, this is everything I'm saying, everything everybody else is saying. It's just information. At the end of the day, we're just encouraging you to think for yourself. If there's something I say, if it resonates with you or anybody else, cool, go with it. But at the same time, think for yourself. This is all just us trying to piece together something that is incredibly mysterious. But one way that I've tried to wrap my head around dreams is kind of like this idea that dreams, the dream space, this is a very, very, very powerful idea. The dream space is actually closer to the space from where we are from. Meaning that before we literally come into this physical body, whatever the dream space is, like that's where we are. It's like people talk about this, like it's kind of funny when you think about that, to be like, oh yeah, like I came into this incarnation, I came here to help shift consciousness. But then it's like, wait, hold on, like where did you come from? Right? Like that's the question. That's the thing we should be looking at. And based on kind of like the way how I've been piecing the puzzle together, the dream space, it's close to that, or it is that, or it's just that kind of seen through a different lens. But within this dream space, we have this opportunity to be able to kind of like enter a shared space that can actually be interfaced with other conscious intelligences. So from my understanding, and Chris, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this as well. It seems that within the dream space, other conscious entities can kind of curate dreams for us. They'll be like, here's something, here's a message, here's an experience, and they'll like give it to us, they'll pass it off to us. But then at the same time, this is why we want to cultivate our consciousness and our dream recall and our remembrance, because it's like these higher dimensional entities, they're here to help evolve our consciousness, and they're giving us gifts. When we are able to recall, we can hold those gifts and we can integrate them. If we aren't able to recall, we still experience it on some level, but it's kind of like we drop the gift. We're like, whoopsie, like, oops, sorry about that. And then these other dimensional entities are kind of like, they're like, oh, like I was really hoping they were going to hold on to that one. That was a really, really valuable one, sort of thing. So keep in mind that every single night, I'll just say this, and I'll pass it to Chris, is what happens when we start approaching our dreams as if it's like a psychedelic ceremony every single night, sacred ceremony every single night, where we're literally getting to commune with, higher aspects of ourselves and other dimensional consciousness and everything like that. Anyways, passing it over to Chris, because I know there's a lot more to talk about. Chris, when you're ready, go ahead, introduce yourself, any kind of experience, tips and tricks, and story you would like to share. Welcome, Chris. Thanks so much for being here. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. What's up, everyone? Namaste. My name is Chris. I am the Chris Scalone on TikTok and the Chris Scalone on Instagram. I am so grateful to be here with you guys tonight to share this space. Dreams to me have been a very important spiritual theme, probably for about 4 or 5 years. When I really started working a lot with angelic energy and really delve very deeper into meditation, I was meditating outside under my favorite tree. And I said to my angels, I'm like, okay, angels, hit me. Like, what is the next thing I need to do for myself to take a step forward into my consciousness development, into my spiritual space? And instantly I saw the word dreams in my head. And then I heard the affirmation, I always remember my dreams in vivid detail. And I took this as a message from my guides and from my angels that I need to begin to do more work with my dreams. I went and bought a dream journal. I literally have it right here. I've been using the same one for years. And just like Brendon was saying, I literally look forward to my dreams every night, because as we dream, we do have the opportunity to actually work with our fifth dimensional, like astral body, to materialize, to create. When we're in that dream state, our minds, our subconscious, our guides, they're sending us messages, and just like we all have guides, we all have angels, we all have beings of light that are here guiding us on our journey. We also have dream guides, and our dream guides can help us to navigate those dreams. If you are struggling with nightmares, if these are things that you're worried about going into dreaming, you can always say, dream guides, dream angels, whoever you want to call them, please help me to have happy, high vibrating, exploratory dreams. And going off about with what Brendon and Kristen were saying, you can totally set an intention going into those dreams. Your mind will help you to heal your heart through your dreams. You will get messages from other consciousness through your dreams. And that is why learning to remember your dreams and really building upon that ability is just so important and so crucial. And it's something that we all can do. And just I hear a lot from people, oh, I'm not clairvoyant, I'm not psychic, I'm not these things. And I say to them, let me ask you a question. Tell me about a vivid dream that you can remember. So now people begin to tell me all about this dream, whatever the dream may be. Maybe they're on an island. Maybe they feel the sand on their toes. They're describing this dream to me. And then I say to them, now, did you see that dream with your physical eyes? And they're like, well, no, I was dreaming. Right. But you were able to in beautiful detail describe to me who was there, what you were feeling, what was going on, and then you can even like deduce what message that was or where that came from, or it can lead you on an exploratory journey. Dreams are a beautiful reminder that we are multidimensional beings and that there is so much more to what's going on when we're here, like awake in the physical 3D. So it's just an amazing, like, it's an amazing opportunity that we have every single night to learn and work on ourselves. And that's it. And I'm so happy that we can have this conversation.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing your passion. Real quick, any particular dream story that stood out with you? One that's kind of, one that you'll just remember for the rest of your life? Maybe you met a higher dimensional guide, anything like that?
You know, I can't say that I've had a dream where I've met like a higher dimensional guide, but the very first time that I truly experienced astral projection was through my dreams. I remember I had been trying to lucid dream and astral project for the longest time. I was trying to astral project without having to lucid dream. I was trying to do it consciously. And I'm like, you know what? This is not working out for me. So let me try my dreams. A few nights later, I remember I was dreaming and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dreaming. This is a lucid dream. This is my opportunity. And I remember I was in the dreamscape wherever I was. And then as soon as I became lucid, I instantly was like sent into my room, like where I was. And I looked around and I was like, here we go, baby. And I flew up and I flew through the roof and I flew to the top of the sky. And like the sky was like dawn, dusk, twilight in the middle of the night, but this is in the astral realm. And I start flying down the Long Island Expressway, and I'm just like, it was just so beautiful and just so real. And it was the first time in my life I'd ever astral projected. And I actually had like a bird's eye view of my house, of my street, of the Long Island Expressway. And it was just awesome. It was just awesome.
That's awesome, dude. Super, super fascinating. Love being able to hear those stories. And again, just like hearing from firsthand experience that yes, this is possible. And again, for a lot of people, they're just like, what? Like, no, that's not possible. That's crazy. That's just something that's from Stranger Things or something like that. But it's like, no, man, like Stranger Things is from this, like this is real. And like, that's kind of the idea, right? Is by having these discussions, this is us like reclaiming our birthright. This is what it means to be a multidimensional being. It means being able to tap into these multidimensional abilities, both in the waking state, sleeping state. It's all one state. Again, waking up as dreamers within the dream. That's awesome, Chris. Thank you so much, dude. Love being able to listen to that. Just to get an idea, who wants to go next? Give me a hands up first, real quick before. Did Jennifer put their hand up first? Was that Jennifer? Did you have your hand up? Was that, yeah? Yes? Okay. All right. Yeah. Thumbs up, Jennifer. Is that cool? We'll pass over to you next. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, cool. Awesome, team. So there was something that I was going to say, but I think it's okay. We'll just keep passing the talk and stick around. And if I feel like I need, there's always more to say. Yeah, quick. Well, I'll just say this quick tip. Again, because Chris kind of mentioned it, but again, in terms of like quick tips and everything like that, dream journal. So incredibly important for anybody just to be able to get started. Because a lot of people, they'll kind of get into this place where they're like, I don't remember my dreams. Well, it's like if you use a dream journal, first of all, you're telling the universe, hey, I'm starting to pay attention to my dreams more. And then that's actually going to help you remember your dreams. If you're literally just like, I can't remember my dreams, then like that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You're literally just kind of like evoking that into your reality. And if that's what you keep telling yourself, that's going to be the case. A lot of people will almost, even their dialogue, they'll be like, I don't dream, and even there, that's again, it's not that you don't dream, it's just that you don't remember your dream. having the dream journal is incredibly important. Just be able to even write down the little things, writing down emotions, colors, scenes. And then over time, that eventually becomes more and more detailed. And eventually, your dream journal almost becomes kind of like an encyclopedia full of symbols that you can actually begin to use as triggers, which can help you kind of get more involved with lucidity. So, real quick, and I'll say, passing to Jennifer, I know there's a lot of people, and especially for those of you maybe new to spirituality, and you're hearing people talk about lucid dreaming and astral projection, and you're excited. I get that. You're excited and you're just like, how do I lucid dream? How do I astral project? Well, there's a couple steps before that. And it's the basic things. It's like even just being able to practice meditation and mindfulness. You guys probably saw my video. Have you cleaned your room yet? Because I told you to, like, I hope you did after that video. I called you out on it or something. But anyways, setting that intention, setting the space, again, and kind of approaching it from that sacred ceremony perspective. Tuning into broadcasts like this will actually help you with remembering your dreams, because again, you're basically telling the universe, hey, I'm interested, and then things will start arriving. And again, paying attention if you're using cannabis, paying attention to your sleep habits, little things, even just like taking the phone and putting it on the other side of the room so you're not checking it in the middle of the night. Checking your phone in the middle of the night, that like messes up your brain. Like it literally does, because like when you check those lights, it tells your brain that it's like the middle of the day, and then it changes the chemical imbalance, and then that will change the way you're able to remember sleep. You almost want to like go as close as you can back to like the original way that we slept. So if you can like sleep outside under the stars, then like do that, but like get away from your phone, get away from like weird sleep schedules to the best of your ability. Pay attention even to like diet, just other things, and the other thing, again, with meditation can be great. And I'll just say this, and I'll pass it to Jennifer. This is a very practical tip. With meditation, one of the things that you can do, if you meditate before going to sleep, it gives you the chance to essentially offload your mind. If you go to sleep and you're just like, sometimes this will happen. If you go to sleep and there's something that's bugging you, you'll probably end up dreaming about it, because there's something that's unresolved there. There's something that has your attention and it's kind of on a loop. And until you've kind of dealt with it, it will probably surface within the dream space, which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes that can actually be a very practical thing. But if you're just like, okay, before you go to sleep, just take 10 minutes to meditate and just kind of unpack your mind. Oh, what happened today? Okay, breathe. Okay, that happened. How did I feel about that? Okay, cool, sweet. Gonna put that off to the side. Good. Anything else that I need to bring awareness to? Cool. Okay, yeah, I feel pretty relaxed right now. I feel pretty clear. I feel pretty calm. Very simple metaphor that I like to do. It's kind of like you think of your mind as like a cup or like a bowl. So if you go to sleep and your bowl's full, it's like full of ideas, you try and pour more dreams in there, it's just going to overflow. It's not really going to do its purpose. But if you take that bowl and you kind of empty it before dream time, you're kind of holding it there, and then again, going back to this idea that the universe is like curating something to you. It has something for you, and then you have your bowl there, and it's like, I am ready to receive, So really approaching dreams as, again, this kind of like, you become like a steward. You become a steward for the experiences that can come forth. And as you keep doing this, the dreams will continue to be, again, what you are ready for. But be patient. Patience and consistency is so valuable within the dream practice. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here as a community, because we know it's not always easy, but knowing that you're not alone and knowing that there's a community here, that's a big part of it. All right, let's keep passing talk. So we're gonna pass to Jennifer. Who wants to go after Jennifer real quick, especially if anybody has to like leave early? Go ahead and let me know. Fiona. Okay, cool. Fiona and then Kira. Perfect. Okay, Jennifer, we'll pass it over to you. Jennifer, when you're ready, please feel free to introduce yourself, any your experience with dreams, practical tips, and a dream story if you feel called. When you're ready, Jennifer, and thank you so much for being here. Go right ahead.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I am Jennifer Davis, and I have practiced Enlightenment Effects. You can find me on Enlightenment Effects on Facebook or Enlightenment.effects on Instagram. And you can call me Jenna or MommaJ. That's my kids' friends always started that nickname, and it's kind of stuck. So, dreaming. I have been dreaming since I was in my crib that I can remember, and my dreams I can remember better than actual experiences. Like I can tell you about a dream better than I can tell you about real life, if that makes any sense. But I do dream work in my dreams, and I guess a while back, I started, practicing the dream journal and realizing that it was more to it. My grandparents had a book when I was little, and it was The Meaning of Dreams. So ever since I could start reading, I was reading the interpretations of dreams and the symbols and stuff like that, just like Kristen. So, and also, I really connected with Lacey. I was watching one of your dream classes, and it's amazing to me to hear all the different experiences that are so like mine. It's like we're all there at the same time, and we just really, we have the same experiences. I love it. And you would never know until someone shared. So, the dream work that I do is, I can remember I help people pass over. I didn't know I was doing this until I kept dying in dreams, and actual dying, and not just, waking up when you're getting ready to crash or whatever. I was actually dying and then going to another place and going and seeing a white light. And um, after realizing that some of my dreams were past life experiences where I actually did die, but since there is no past or future, everything is happening now. I didn't quite understand that then. And I was helping people with their dreams. And I guess I wasn't doing it the way they wanted me to, because I was shown a better way. And this is kind of brings me to the dream experience that I want to share. And I was on board a ship, and it had clear walls, it had uh, clear floor. You could see out into the cosmos. It was beautiful, amazing, just in the middle of nowhere. But I knew that we were in a ship, and I knew that the walls of it felt, they were clear like jello. I had this perception. Um, I I could just feel that it was like jello, and you could see through it. Um, I often go to a school in my dreams, but this time it wasn't a school, an actual school. It was a ship, and they were showing me on the side of the wall time, because my perception of it was, I guess, incorrect. I'm not really sure. I guess these are my dream guides, but as I've come to learn now, they are either inner earth beings or extraterrestrials. I don't know, but they're interdimensional beings, maybe even. And they showed me time, and they showed me that it was a place. They said, you were just here, and you go here and here. But even though time was a place, and I could see it on this, like kind of a timeline that was on a clear screen, that I could see the universe behind it, it showed me that uh, when we dream, I could go from any lifetime that I had been in this timeline, even if I hadn't done that before linearly, if that makes sense. I was doing it as uh, when I went to sleep. I was living another life when I went to sleep. I was um, a lot of dream experiences that I have were living another life. And one of them was when I was a giant. I remember being a giant and walking across North America. And I had infinite knowledge at the time that I was walking over mountains. And then I heard in one of the dream classes, somebody dreamed about a big giant. And I was like, oh my goodness, I wonder if that was me. But I remember stepping my foot over the line of Virginia, where I live now, and saying, okay, well, that's where I'm going to live one day. It's going to look a little bit different, but this is where this is where I'm going to be anyway. So the people that were on this ship with me and told me about time really changed my perspective. From then on, I had a different understanding of dreams, and I knew that some of them are past lives, if you want to call it that, or future lives, and they're going on simultaneously as we're living this life. And also, some of them are symbols, and some of them are uh, helping other people pass on to the next level or whatever they're going through. It's pretty graphic. I wouldn't think that I would think up all these things. I mean, I kind of cut off TV years ago and tried to live my own life, have my own perception of things. I didn't want to be clouded by other things, even though it's really interesting sometimes. But so I do believe that dreams are there to teach us. And a tip that I have is different lunar days of the month have our dreams mean different things. So if you're on, say, I don't know, like a 13th lunar day or something like that, and your dreams might mean to, and don't quote this because I'm giving you an example, but because I can't remember all of them right now. But some of them can be prophetic. So some of them can come true, and some of them are supposed to teach you things. You're supposed to remember the symbols. Another thing I can tell you is when I come back here to this reality, whatever, this physical plane here, I oftentimes get downloads like really fast. Like I'll see a picture of a fly and they'll tell me fly, but really fast, like chair, dog, this, that, and like I have to relearn our language or something. It's just interesting to me because as I've studied this and helped other people, I've been able to kind of navigate myself, and I remember which direction I come back from, and that way I can go back there if I want to, and I write that in my dream journal, and then I can go back if I want to, or I can not. So anyway, I love dreaming. Thank you all for sharing your dreams. I think it's just a wonderful experience, and it's fun to know where you go every night. That's all.
Jennifer, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing. And I think Chris, you want to jump in. You had something to say, didn't you? Did you just want to mention to even just gratitude or something like that? You were mentioning the comment and stuff like that. Go if you want to, Chris. It's up to you.
Oh, I was just sending love.
Okay. Fair enough. Love received. Awesome. Jennifer, thank you so much. And I love that idea again about like time being like a place, like time being like almost like being like a bubble or something, like something you enter into. Cause I've definitely like, that's something that I've come to kind of lean towards as well, is that, this is kind of getting a little bit separate, but again, it's like reality exists in dimensions, and these dimensions are almost like individual bubbles, and each individual bubble has its own time, so it's like they're parallel to each other, but they're also relative to every single individual bubble or something like that. I don't know, maybe like here we are with our mortal minds trying to comprehend, but I don't think it's outside of our possibility. I think it's, again, a lot of it, and this is even the whole concept of dreaming, a lot of it is kind of like remembering things, like I think that's kind of, here we are, we're these souls, we're remembering, and then we kind of have like our guides, our family, and they're kind of showing up, and they're just like, here, like, do you remember this? Like, do you remember, is this familiar to you? And they're just kind of slowly kind of easing our way back into it. And that's, again, when you think of showing up with dream practice, it's something that's an investment. It's something where it's like, especially for those of you, regardless of your age, but if you start working on it today, where will you be in 6 months from now, let alone where will you be in 6 years from now, right? And this is, again, why I'm passionate about us having these discussions, because I honestly feel that us doing these discussions as community is literally like laying the foundations for the future. Like, this is important because I want to be able to create a community where all of us, to the best of our ability, are consciously aware of dreams, and we can start utilizing them. I love to be able to think of dreams almost as if it's like a spiritual technology. And that's kind of, in a way, like it's what it is. We have the internet. Here we are, we're connecting through Zoom and stuff like that. But anything that you see as a technology is actually a reflection of some sort of spiritual ability that we already have. So in the same way, here we are talking, not physically here, but interacting. And then you start leaning towards the idea of like, oh, well, let's go meet up in the astral. Let's go meet up in the dream space. Let's go meet up in a shared dream time, in a shared dream location sort of thing. This is possible. This isn't just theory. This is possible. How do we work towards that? Simply by having discussions here and supporting each other in developing those practice. And, you know, flash forward in like 2024 and be like, all right, guys, let's do it. Boom. We just kind of tap into it. And again, you know, like this, if you think about the possibility of just kind of like in a sci-fi way, imagine like other planets where they were much more highly consciously evolved. I am sure that like every time they would go to sleep, like that would be like a vivid experience, right? Like a vivid, visceral experience that was equally as meaningful as like the physical dimension that they may be in. So, oh man, I'm just thinking of why am I forgetting the name of it? The new Duncan Trussell show, Midnight Gospel. If anybody hasn't, go watch Midnight Gospel, and that will kind of like start blowing your mind and start giving you some ideas of how we enter in and out of things. And you know how Duncan Trussell kind of like enters into the quote unquote simulation, and then when he comes out, that's kind of like what we're doing every night. Every night, it's like right now we're in the simulation, the quote unquote simulation. I don't think that's the best word, but we'll work with it for now. And then when we go to sleep, it's kind of like we're kind of going back. We're in that other space, and then we kind of come back in, sort of thing. But again, this is all just theory. This is all just, you know, words. But at the very least, and I'll just say this, I'm gonna pass it to Fiona. I mentioned this in the beginning, but just to emphasize, thank you again, everybody, for being here, because what we are doing here is documenting these experiences, bringing them beyond just their individual experience and bringing them into the collective, bringing them into the community, serving as examples. There are going to be people here who are going to hear other people's stories, and they're going to be like, whoa, if that's possible for them, then that's possible for me. And it starts opening up doors, it starts opening up ideas, and it starts opening up potential. So guaranteed, there are literally other dimensional entities tuned into this broadcast in a non-linear sense, and they're looking back at this broadcast and they're saying, this is how it happened. This is how the shift in consciousness happened, when a group of people came together and started having these types of discussion, whether it be us or any of us, you know. So anyways, team, thank you again. As you can see, I'm kind of excited about all this, but I hope you guys are excited too. All right, Fiona, we're going to pass it over to you. Thank you so much, Fiona, for being here. And please feel free to introduce yourself, experience with dreams, tips and tricks, dream stories, all that good stuff. Fiona, when you're ready, go right ahead.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me and holding this space for me. I'm so excited to talk about dreams. I think dreams are so cool. Just to let you guys know, I'm Auravibin on Instagram and TikTok, and yeah. So yeah, I think dreams are so cool, guys, because it's so crazy. I was just listening to a podcast 3 days ago about dreams, and someone brought up such a great point. They said, you know, we need to dream every night to function in this reality. If we don't sleep, then we start going crazy. So that concept makes me think like, so dreaming is really our source. It's our battery. It's where we have to go to replenish for this life, right? So that definitely makes me think that, just like you were saying at the beginning of the podcast, Brendon, that our dream state or the astral realm is not only like our life source for here, but where we come from. And I heard this, I have so much to say about this, so I'm going to be talking for a little while. Sorry, guys. Something else about the astral realm that I've heard is that the more conscious you become in this waking life, the more conscious you become in your dream state, right? And this is like a crazy concept that I'm not sure if you guys will be able to fathom, because it was really hard for me to understand. But people have become so enlightened in this life that when they die, they actually can choose where to go after in the astral realm, where to reincarnate. And apparently you can choose your parents in the astral realm. So this is just like something that I've heard, but it's super interesting. Anyways, something I really, really wanted to bring up were the 3 types of psychic dreams that we have. So one of them is called precognitive dreams. And a precognitive dream is so, so cool. It's where I'll list out the 3. So you have precognitive dreams, telepathic dreams, and clairvoyant dreams. And a precognitive dream is where you see something play out exactly in your dream as it will in real life. So I'll give you guys an example. It's only happened to me one time, but when it happened, I was like, this is what a deja vu is, but except you remember, which is crazy. So in my dream, I was just looking through my different licenses. Like I have a bunch of car licenses in my wallet. and I was looking through them in my dream. And then the next day I had been like walking in the subway or something, pulled out my wallet, and then in the back in a super random pocket, I take out all of my licenses, and I was like, I had this exact dream. So that's a precognitive dream. A telepathic dream is where you can communicate with your guides, where you can communicate with your angels, but also where you can communicate with other people in this realm. So I had a crazy telepathic dream that I really want to share too. Do you guys mind if I give you a light code activation right now? I'm just asking for permission because bring it. Like,
Sure, go for
okay,
it.
because I just want permission because when I shared this on my TikTok, it blew up, but a lot of people were like, I didn't ask for this. I don't want to be activated. So I was just like, okay.
Okay, so everybody here just kind of like either consent
Yeah,
or mute.
or
So and that's okay. And that's okay.
5 seconds. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
0010110. That's it. 0010110. So after I heard this number for the first time, and I just got spiritual tingles, after I heard this number for the first time, I had a crazy telepathic dream that night. And it was with my gym coach, who I don't speak to on a daily basis because he's very, very busy, right? So I had a crazy dream with my gym coach, and it was like an hour-long dream where we were traversing like the world, but in a very fast manner. And I felt in my third eye going like shooting stuff in my third eye in my dream. Okay. Anyways, all this to say, it was a crazy dream. When I had woken up the next morning, and keep in mind, my gym coach does not text me like ever. So it was super weird. He screenshotted, because he knows that I'm very spiritual. He sees my Instagram and stuff. He screenshotted his phone 11:11 and then texted it to me with a wink after I had had this crazy dream with him in the astral realm. And so, of course, initially I was like, oh, I want to message him and be like, did you have this crazy dream? But no, he's not going to have that crazy dream. It's just, well, maybe, but he might have not remembered it. It's just a sign from the universe to be winking at you, being like, yes, you're conscious. That's really cool. And then a clairvoyant dream is basically, a clairvoyant dream is where things are very, very vivid. You remember everything in the dream, symbols, colors, and you wake up with all of those memories of that clairvoyant dream in your waking life. And also, when you have like crazy vivid dreams like this, you're probably very clairvoyant in this waking reality too. I have a little like note of everything I want to say because I'm so excited about this dream talk. Oh, and visitation dreams. Oh my gosh. So I've had a few of these, and in this apartment that I've been living in, I've had this apartment for about 4 years, and I've only had one visitation dream in this apartment. When it happened, this is crazy. I guess it happened about 3 months ago. I lost my mom and I lost my dad. So those are two really close people to me. And I have never had a visitation where they visit me in the same night. That night 3 months ago, my dog was like panting. He was like acting super, super strange. And it wasn't like thundering or lightning or anything. He was just acting extremely strange. And I said, it's okay, like calm down. It's okay. I went to bed and I had the most vivid dream of my uncle, my dad, and my mom, who were all extremely happy and functioning well. And this is an important message that I had interpreted from that, because those visitation dreams are meant to show you that they're okay. Maybe I had like subconscious beliefs in me being like, I wonder how my parents are. I wonder how my uncle is, whatever. Those dreams are to show you that any physical limitations that they had in this life, or any mental limitations that they had, are lifted in the astral realm. And so my father actually had schizophrenia, and he was functioning completely fine in the astral realm. So that was kind of like a message to show me like, I think that those limitations are completely gone and your soul is very free in the astral realm. Any last thing that I have to say about dreams and activations is, if you have trouble remembering your dreams, of course, like Chris said, have a dream journal so that you can kind of spark that journey, and guided meditations on lucid dreaming. Literally, if you want to go to bed with a lucid dream guided meditation, you can go on YouTube There's some that are 3 to 5 hours long, some that's just an hour long if you want your phone to shut off after an hour, but those will spark some wild lucid dreams. So I highly recommend guided meditation lucid dreams. Okay, I'm done. I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiona, for sharing your excitement, and again for sharing that experience. And yeah, I'm sure there were things there that people were able to relate to, especially like you said, like being able to have those visitation dreams. Like those are so like because like even it maybe just real quick, like after that happened for you, did you feel like there was like a part of yourself that like kind of like mended or healed or something like that? Like it wasn't like that must have been pretty big, eh?
That was so huge. When I woke up, I bawled my eyes out, but right when I was about to wake up, in this physical reality, I saw a shadow run by me. And I had never seen that after awakening before. So I was like, whoa, this is crazy. But I had bawled my eyes out because it was such a powerful, powerful message for me that it was overwhelming. But I was like, thank you so, so, so much. Because it was a message from the other side. And I don't take that lightly, you know? We all have connections to the other side like that. And it's about like not being afraid, not being scared, because fear blocks those messages. Your spirit guides and your angels never want to scare you. So if you have any fear, they're going to stay away because they're like, no, 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 we don't want that relationship with you. So if you're like open-hearted and you're like, I want some contact, then they're going to start coming into your life as from a place of like love and stuff. So yeah, no fear.
Powerful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiona. And again, I know there's just like oh, we just stay up all night talking about this. I know, right? So, Fiona, thank you so much. Beautiful. Okay, team, we're gonna pass it over to Kira. I'm gonna pass it over to you next. That's cool. Okay, who wants to go after Kira, just to be able to pass it over to Curtis after that, and then from there we'll keep going. Quick note for those of you on YouTube: if the audio is like slightly out of sync at points, I'm aware of that. That stuff is like part of the technical thing that sometimes gets fixed throughout the broadcast. So just letting you know, that's kind of like one of the things. Anyways, team, with that said, we're gonna keep passing the talk and stick around. And you know, for those of you in the YouTube chat, any quick practical tips that you guys want to share, any experiences you guys want to share? Yeah, there's the discussion happening on air, but there's also like lots of discussion happening in the YouTube chat. So thank you again to everybody participating on all dimensions of this discussion. Kira, when you're ready, we're going to pass over to you again. Please feel free to introduce yourself, your relationship with dreams, practical tips, and any experiences you feel called to share. Kira, when you're ready, go right ahead.
Hey, hello. How are you guys doing? This is great. First of all, I just want to apologize. I'm a little nervous because it's my first time being on, public little chat. So please excuse how I speak because I'm going crazy in my head right now, but it's okay. For me, I think dreams are really important because I'm a really logical thinker, and I always have been. So as a logical thinker, growing up, I'm just like, is this stuff really real? Like, come on now. Like, are you serious? Like, this is crazy and stuff like that. But I really started this whole spiritual journey for myself about a year ago. And I've always been a person that loves to learn. And so if I can dive into something new, if I can figure out how to integrate my life into something new, then I'm all for it. And going through a lot of stuff that I went through in the past year, so it was kind of tough for me, and I wanted to change. So I opened up my mind, I opened up my heart, and I kind of decided to, go into studying more. And dreams are important to me because it's a nice escape from a reality that you don't want to be in for yourself sometimes, and so taking time to learn about dreams, learning about what they mean to you, learning about what you can learn from them to better yourself is something that always interested me. So it's crazy that she was talking about precognitive dreams because I literally had a whole deja vu moment like not too long ago when I set up for the patron. Actually, I was sitting on my bed and I was like, dude, I forgot to sign up for the patron. I was like, let me do it real quick. And I was signing up for it and I was like, man, I swear I did this before. Like, I know. I was looking at this, it was like $11. I paid for it, but it's like, it was like, that's crazy to me. Like, I was like, what in the world is going on here? And I was like, we were just talking about dreams, stuff like that. I was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. But it hit me. I was like, wow, this is like reality, and I was so willing to accept it. And before I wasn't, because, as a logical thinker, you don't want to put yourself out there. You're just like, no, absolutely not. Like, you're crazy. But when you open up your mind to it, you really see like how things can really branch out for you, how things can really change, you know. And I was like, this is why I had to sign up for the patron and stuff like that. And another thing, when she was talking about visitation dreams, um, I actually deal with a lot of depression, and music is a really calming thing for me. And so one of my biggest musical inspirations was Michael Jackson. He really did help me get through a lot of the stuff that I did not think I could get through by myself. And so after Michael Jackson passed away, I was devastated. I was a child at the time, and I was just like, this is not it. Like, why would you just leave me like this? I felt so alone, and I had secluded myself from my family and stuff like that, because I was just like, you know, the person that helped me feel alive, like gave me a reason to be here, he was like gone. And I was like, this sucks. But I fell asleep that night, and out of nowhere, I was sitting in a park. I'm a huge forest person. I love trees. I love nature. I'm a huge nature buff. So I was sitting on this bench. Lo and behold, Michael Jackson just sits right down next to me. And I was like, what? Who? Where are you coming from? Like, who the hello? Hi, I love you. What's going on? Kind of scared, but that's okay. And I was like, I like saw him, and then I just immediately started crying after I started freaking out. And he was like, you know, it's okay. And I spent the entire dream day with Michael Jackson. Like, we went to the movies, we walked through the forest, we went to totally different parks. Like, we were just sitting there. And the end of the dream, I was in a funeral home, and I was sitting there, and I was like, this is not how I wanted to conclude the day. This was not what I was planning. And he was like, no, this is something that you have to do. And I was like, okay, don't really want to do it, but all right, that's fine. You know, you're Michael Jackson. What am I going to do? Say no? So um we went up to the casket, and he was like lying there, and I was like, but you're right here, so how are you? What's going on? Please explain this to me. I'm so confused. I'm a child. My brain is not, it's not fully developed. But he was like, I wanted you to see this as a reality, that yes, I'm gone, but I'm telling you, like, I'm fine, you know, and you will be fine, because you've made it this far. You've done, you started to branch out and do something that you've been scared of, which is like my acting, my confidence, my self-esteem, anything like that. And he was like, and I guided you to this point, but now it's time for you to do that for yourself. And he was like, I really enjoyed this day, but now it's time for me to, you know, say goodbye. And I was like, okay. I got a hug. And right when he said goodbye, I woke up, and then I had to go to school that day. And that was like the first time I was like, that was the weirdest thing that ever happened to me when I first woke up. But as a kid, you know, you don't really think about like the type of impact that it's going to have for you. And so now that I'm on this whole new spiritual journey, and I've met so many amazing people, and I realized how much that actually helped me, like, right now. And now that I'm gaining that confidence, now that I'm pushing myself to do stuff that I didn't do before, whether it's doing acting on TikTok, or whether it's trying to reassure myself that you can be confident in the things that you want to do. All of that led me from one simple dream that I had. And I didn't even know that until like a good year ago. So I think a tip that I can give somebody, especially if you're somebody that's as logical as me, you tend to overthink certain situations. And when you overthink, that gives you, it blocks your blessings, in a sense, if you want to speak of it like that. It blocks your brain path to what you're supposed to be receiving for you. All dreams are meant to build you as a person. It's meant to guide you in a way that it's hope for, not just for you, but maybe the people around you, because you never know how you can impact somebody else's life, you know. And so if I can give anybody a tip on dreaming, I think it's, don't overthink it, accept it as it is, because when you do, it gives you room to not only open up your mind, but it opens up your heart as well. And it gives you a chance to really see yourself as you are as a person. And you as a person is just as important in any astral plane as, you know, anywhere else. And so it's like, once you start seeing things like that, it can really just branch out your mind. And I've been so grateful to be able to have dreams like that. And I've been able to learn how to be a better me, not only in this physical body, but through a new spiritual sense. So Don't nitpick. Please don't nitpick. It does not help you. But I think everything that I have done up to this point, especially with that dream, has really not only brought me here, like with you amazing, beautiful people, but it's really put my life into a different perspective. And now that I think a different way, now that I'm thinking a certain way and I'm willing to open up myself to that learning experience, it has really, truly helped me. So no overthinking, don't nitpick, just let it happen naturally. I've done past regressions from things like this. I have really it's like broadening your horizons can be so lifting, and it can really make you feel like, you have value. And that value can just come from so many different aspects. And it can start with a dream, just like I did. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you. And I was really nervous, so sorry if my voice is like scratchy or all over the place, but thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
Kira, thank you so much. That was beautiful, and you did a great job.
Thank you.
And again, this is all just practice, and I'm sure the spirit of Michael would be quite proud, and is quite proud. And again, like as we just get ready to pass the talking stick here, passing it over to Curtis in a second. Yeah, again, that's the thing, right? Like with dreams, I think you said it quite well, to be able to understand that every single dream is there for you. Every single dream is there to serve you. And we can literally apply the same concept into our waking experience as well. And the way how I like to be able to think of it is to be able to understand that the experiences that we go through, whether it be in the physical reality or in the dream reality, they shape us, they mold us. And it's not this idea of it being, it's just like, oh, only the positive things are good for us and everything like that. It's like, no, it's like whatever the experience it is, it shapes us, it molds us. And I think that's a very, very powerful story to be able to hear that, the essence, the archetype, the spirit of Michael, again, it is something that, though it is gone beyond the physical, it still exists within our hearts. And this is, again, kind of even going back to what's already been talked about from other people here. That's where dreams can really just like one dream is enough to change someone's reality, to shift their paradigm. You might have people and they're stuck in the quote unquote matrix and everything like that. And then it only takes one dream for them to just be like, whoa, there is something more to this reality, and it sparked something in me. And it can be not even just something that they can explain logically, but it's something that they're just like, I don't even know what this is yet, but I know it's calling me into something more. And then to just kind of like move towards that calling is the best thing that we can do. So Kira, good for you for moving into that calling. And again, here you are. And what's fascinating is that when you get a chance, check out some of the YouTube comments, because people are just like, yo, thank you so much, Kira. Because again, like your story, all of our stories, they're more than just us, like they're more than just for us. There will be some dreams that of course are going to be something that we'll keep for ourselves, but there are a lot of dreams that we may have, and through a space like this, when we get a chance to be able to share them, other people are like, whoa, like I needed to hear that. So again, the messages that come through us, sometimes we get messages that are like literally like for the collective. Here's something that is possible. Here's something to remind us. Here's something to lead us back to the heart. So yeah, it's a gift to be here within this physical reality, but I think dreams are a powerful way to be reminded that there are many guides and spirits and archetypes and energies that are still very much with us right here and now. And within the dream space, they get that opportunity to engage with us in a way that, again, can be incredibly life-changing within a moment. So Kira, thank you so much again. That was wonderful. Good job. Awesome. And again, reminder for everybody, this is all just practice, because I know for some of you, it's like I've never talked about my dreams in a group of 500 people before. No pressure. So thank you again, everyone, for holding space. You guys are doing great. Guys, if you're having fun in the YouTube chat, go ahead and just drop an 1111 in the comment and show some love. All right, we're going to pass over to Curtis, and who would like to go next after Curtis? And I'll pass over to Julissa after that. And then from there, we'll keep moving along. And just as a little bit of a... I'll tell you guys, after Curtis, I'm going to tell you guys what the broadcast is going to be for next week. It's going to be exciting. I'll tell you what it is. But later in the broadcast, we're actually going to do a meditation that we do that is a consistent meditation that we do at the end of each dream class, where it's going to be us like dreaming of arriving at the dream tree. So the dream tree, the life tree, for those of you who tuned in for our August 27th meditation, and also in like even like our full moon party. Well, I guess it wasn't in a full moon party. Yeah, it's always everywhere. But anyways, this life tree, this mythic tree, Yggdrasil, the tree of life, whatever you want to call it, it's the same tree. It's the dream tree as well. And this is a dream that we kind of like develop a relationship within our imagination, but then we set the intention to arrive there within the dream plane, within the astral plane. And it's happened. People have done it. This is a thing that you can experience too, if you're open to it, if you're open to that magic. And yeah, again, you know, I think what are dreams are magic, and they're showing us that this life is magic. Curtis, I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you again, everyone, so much for being here. And Curtis, when you're ready, again, just introduction, how you relate to dreams, practical tips, experiences. Go right ahead.
All right, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name's Curtis. Right now, I'm working on creating sustainable agriculture. Right now, trying to, feed the land, return the land to a natural state. That is the Native American part of me. But I'm also a UOU, the mysterious UOU on SoundCloud. I have music. I make music all the time. But I've actually just kind of shift my focus onto taking care of the environment. But I want to actually keep this ball rolling of what Akira was talking about exactly overthinking. There's the consciousness does not. A lot of misconception is the consciousness doesn't really belong to the brain. It's not subject to the brain. It's actually the consciousness is that around you. It's everything. Your heart forms first, and that is the heartbeat. And it's not subject to the mind, and the mind creates illusions and stuff like that. And what I want to go into in my dreams is that I have a hard time controlling my dreams. I have a hard time really going in the astral realm. Most of my ideas come from the physical realm. There's a lot of memory. I feel like there's so much memory in the physical body. Your physical body has memory from the physical plane of existence and stuff like that. And sometimes it's just hard for me to connect. And the dreams, they speak to me through like my desires, my passions, and and I really take in consideration relationships are probably one of the most important thing for me. Relationship dreams, dreams like of a crush I had in high school. I had a dream where I was at this party, and I would go upstairs to where her room was, and or whatever, this crush. I don't even talk to this person, but I have this obsession. This is like going through the obsessive phase of a crush and stuff, and having literally this is what made me cry. Like I thought God brought this woman into my life and everything, and all of a sudden it's like a bird. Set the bird free. Open the window and be free of this obsession, and it takes a long time to cognitively process this through real life, and especially if you have a lot of it might be past life issues and stuff like that going on with just traumatic stuff that you're dealing with, physical desires, physical things that you feel like are blocking your peace in your heart. And I feel like going through for me again, relationships. I go in a lot of relationships that seem toxic or seem thing, but I'm also trying to help people. I'm trying to be there and take things from a perspective of something higher. I'm different in my family. I see things from a different perspective, and I get in a lot of arguments with my family because of the perspective I have. It's like, oh, money is the most important thing to have right now, but also I believe work is important. But for the dream, it's taking things into the physical realm. Your body, everything, their memory exists within all sorts of just even the physical realm, like our bodies, the memory, that's what past, like, maybe not past lives, you know, some people are connected to like not blood related past lives, but um for me it's just learning how to become more in tune with light, energy, and stuff like that. I'm sorry, I'm getting lost here. But right now, I'm trying to get back into meditation. I feel more connected, you know, when I feel like I get a lot of my ideas from being outside and stuff like that in the physical realm. But you know, it's like almost like I am out in dream world, you know, called La La Land or whatever you want to call it. But that you can be a conscious during that, but sometimes you get detached from your body and you just kind of meditate and you can stand in one spot for a long time, and all of a sudden, an hour goes by and you haven't moved, but you're also processing things. You know, you're living healthily, your body needs it. You know, going to sleep is really healing for your body. That's why there's monks. They are sacred with their bodies, they're sacred with every, you know, they take the physical reality very seriously, and it should be taken really seriously. That's what yoga is for, and all this transcendental stuff. So my message to people is, you know, I have to keep to. I need to do a journal. I need to keep always, hey, tell a friend of your dream. You know, that helps me have more dreams. Keep processing through the dreams, and you know, and yeah,
Curtis, thank you for sharing, dude.
there's a lot.
Yeah, no,
Really, it was just a lot. I got nervous, and just talking about physical realm, more likely how we can utilize the subconscious messages, you know, from the spiritual realm into the physical world, and how the physical world actually can, you know, alter the view of the dream, or you know how.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. No, I appreciate you hitting on those points there, because again, you know, like with the dream practice, like like it's, you know, it takes place when your head hits the pillow, but it really begins the moment you wake up. You know, it begins just like how you live your life on a regular day basis, and again, that's part of the teachings of again, you know, just like dream yoga and working towards that, is that you're working on bringing consciousness throughout every moment, throughout all moments of your being, and then you create that habit, and then that habit naturally carries over into the dream realm, into the dreams practice. So this is where, again, you know, this is what can eventually lead to like triggers and lucidity. But again, it's kind of like what you were saying, it's what you feed your physical body, you know, like literally in terms of just your surrounding and your environment. If you're constantly surrounded by people who are, you know, like getting in arguments with you and things like that kind of like infiltrates your subconscious and your psyche. So, you know, for people here, like, as much as if you're interested in kind of working towards those dream practices, it's important to make sure that you're creating a healthy ecosystem and environment for yourself within your waking state, because that's going to kind of, again, continue to develop a better ability for you to be able to shift your focus more on your dream space, opposed to it kind of just being, again, you know, kind of things overflowing into your subconscious, and then they just kind of overflow into your dream space. So if you can create, like, again, like that healthy environment, or at least just be aware of it. You might not, there are certain things that you might not be able to change, but at least if you can be aware of how you're responding to it, that's always important too. But no, it's a very, that's the thing, like dreaming is a holistic practice. It's not just like, oh, like this is just happening when I'm sleeping. Like, no, your dream practice is a lifestyle, it is a way of being, you know. So but yeah, no, Curtis, thank you again for sharing. Is there anything else before we pass it around real quick?
Hey, you know, when when you're ready for the dreams, they'll happen, and that's the timeline shift. You know, that's that activated DNA. That's where that physical starts really getting more and more physical. You know, your astral body becomes more integrated and connected to your physical body, and it's when you're ready. That's the thing. You know, some people can't explain it. Some people have random dreams and they don't really make sense, but being more aware is just something that is a goal for consciousness, really.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Yeah, no, it's just bringing more awareness on all levels of the dream. So cool, awesome. Curtis, thank you for sharing, dude. Appreciate you being here, man. Awesome, sweet, wonderful. Okay, team, we're gonna keep passing the talking stick around. I'm gonna pass it to Julissa, right? Julissa. If I'm sorry, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that 100% correctly. I'm gonna pass it over to you in a second, and then what do you think? Lacey, do you want to maybe share something after? It's up to you. Do you guys want Lacey to share something afterwards? It's up. Maybe. All right. Maybe Lacey will share a dream story or two. I know she's got a couple. No pressure, Lacey. So whatever. Okay, cool. All right. The one thing again, just kind of leading off of what Curtis was talking about. What I said, who you surround yourself with is very important, because that will kind of affect not only just like your overall consciousness, but also your dream consciousness as well. And this is why community is so important. Like within like kind of like the traditions, like the science of dream practice, they kind of have these basics. It's like, okay, like here are the certain things that you need to have a dream journal. You need to again, like practice meditation. And the other thing that's incredibly essential is you need to have community. You need to have other people that you can talk to. You need to have other people that you can share in this passion with. Not to say it can't happen if you're by yourself, absolutely not. But when you do have that community, again, it helps reinforce the idea that this is something that's important to you, and it's important to other people, and it keeps that excitement going and keeps bringing you back. And that's why when we do these dream classes, again, we usually do them at least like every like 2 months, give or take. And again, for those of you who are tuned in here, get inspired by this, practice your dreams, come back and, you know, take part in a future dream broadcast, and we'll see where we're at. So okay, team, we're gonna keep moving along here. We'll pass it to Julissa, and then if we can pass it to Lacey after that, if Lacey would like to go, and then we'll keep rolling through there. Julissa, when you're ready, please feel free to again introduce yourself, your relationship to dreams, practical tips, and any experiences you'd like to share. And welcome, and thank you so much for being here. When you're ready, go ahead.
Thanks. My name is Julissa. I'm really nervous. I recently just ended up doing journaling because I literally told myself that this is real. I was in denial for a lot of years. And something that helped me like realize that I was really able to telepathically talk and able to like feel vibrations was my twin flame. So she ended up, you know, coming into my dreams, and I was just like, who is this person? Like, why is this happening? So then I ended up, you know, writing these dreams down, and I was like, I know this person. This is very familiar, but I think I'm just going crazy. So I was in my room and I was just like really meditating, and I started hearing voices, and I was just like, no, this is scary. I'm gonna like deny this. So I ended up just pushing it away until I, you know, told myself, okay, let's see what this is about. So I ended up talking back, and I was like, hey. And then I heard her voice, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Like this is actually real. So something that she has really been teaching me is healing. So when you have a twin flame, they're there to show you your shadows. They're there to trigger you, to see how patient you. You know, this is such a sacred journey that is like in a way rare, and I'm such a hopeless romantic, so I was like really obsessing over, you know, what is she doing, like can we talk right now, or like it was just very toxic to where we had to like set boundaries and tell ourselves like we're able to do this, but like let's focus on ourselves, because you know this is what the journey is about, like working on ourselves, loving one another, and like supporting one another through the dark night of the soul. So I think any advice to anybody that's going through a twin flame journey you're not going crazy. This is actually real. Like you're able to like feel their vibrations. You're able to telepathically talk to them and just see them like in the astral world. And I think that's like something so beautiful to me. Um, but other than that, I appreciate you guys for literally putting me on like this path and like motivating and supporting me through this journey because I felt so lost and I thought I was going crazy. But coming towards you guys, I was just like, oh, like this is really something that's really happening. And I thank you guys for, you know, being part of my journey and being able to like see me grow. I think that's something so beautiful. And also thank you, Brendon, for holding this space and creating this, knowing like the bigger picture of helping everybody, supporting everybody, and like for the bigger mission. But that was pretty much what I wanted to share.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Julissa. Thank you. Sorry, can you just confirm, how am I pronouncing your name wrong? Because I think I am, right?
It's Julissa.
Julissa. Okay, perfect. There, now I got it. Awesome. Thank you, Julissa. And yeah, absolutely. Again, I know a lot of people were resonating with that in the chat as well. And again, you know, like there's so much that can take place in dreams. Like there's like dreams can just be this incredibly healing space, this incredibly enlightening space. And that's the thing that I've come to experience with dreams, is that, you know, within dreams we see parts of ourself that maybe at times we may not always be too excited to see, but it gives us a choice to be either illuminate it, or to ignore it, or to heal it, or to embrace it. You know, I've kind of talked about it in this way, where it's like within the dream space, you kind of you will see, like, you know, you will see kind of like shadow sides of yourself. You will see parts of yourself that do, you know, that are wounded. But at the same time, it's not to say that seeing those is a bad thing. Seeing those is a chance for you to bring awareness to them, to bring consciousness to them. And then again, that's where in the morning you can either wake up and say, oh, well, that was just a dream. Or you can just be like, that was trying to show me something. How can I bring that awareness with me into this reality? How can I work on it here? And again, you know, it's kind of like this idea that I've kind of used this metaphor before, but within our dreams, we will see parts of ourselves where we kind of like see like the hero and the villain inside all of us. And again, I don't even think the villain is necessarily always going to be this thing where it's like, that's like the bad thing. The villain is sometimes, again, it's something that is just kind of like misunderstood, or something that needs its own healing, or needs its own attention, or has a deeper wound that we have to be able to bring awareness to. But yeah, I think it's fascinating how we do see different aspects of ourselves in our dreams. And sometimes I love when we see the dreams where again, you know, like we might have an encounter with someone and they might kind of like push our button, and then we kind of like in our dream we're like, no, like I'm like, here's my boundaries, like here's what I want, here's what I'm standing up for. And we really see ourselves kind of like step into this place of like evoking our truth and everything like that, especially for those who may be kind of in a circumstance where it's like that may not be something that we always do in the waking state too much. To be able to see that in the dream space is like, whoa, that's cool, that's powerful, that's important, that's empowering. I was talking to Lacey about this yesterday, how I had a dream the other day, stupid dream, but it's kind of funny, where like I was literally like, there was like somebody who was like crossing my boundaries, and I basically like grabbed them like a sack of potatoes and I chucked them off my front lawn. And I'm like, you're getting out of here. Like, I'm not standing for this. Cause it was like relative to the community space and stuff. I'm like, sorry, dude, like you gotta go. And I freaking chucked them like a sack of potatoes. Like, in retrospect, it's like, but what's interesting is that it happened in my dream, and then seeing it happen in my dream actually kind of like played out in another form where I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I understood why that dream was there. But again, you know, sometimes dreams will kind of show us a part of ourselves that sometimes will give us permission to bring forth that part of ourselves. Whether it be chucking someone like a sack of potatoes. You can chuck someone like a sack of potatoes in a loving way. I swear it's possible, so to speak. But anyways, don't take my example as an example to lead by in that context. But without the full context, it probably doesn't make any sense. But nonetheless, again, you know, dreams are a very, very powerful place for us to see many, many different versions of ourselves, and we get to choose: is that a version of myself I want to embrace? Is that a version of myself I want to heal? Is that a version of myself I want to be able to say, you know, I'm going to change, and so forth and so on. So again, you know, it's all about the awakening of consciousness. Is quite simply bringing awareness to that which is unconscious, making, you know, the unconscious conscious. And that's what dreams do. Dreams are like a magnifying glass into the unconscious. And so if there are things that are unconscious in us that need to be brought up to the surface, you're damn right they will find their way up into our dreams. And if we're consciously aware that that is a process, we can meet those in a loving way. And I think that's the important thing. So again, you know, meet our dreams halfway, and we will evolve our soul far faster than we would if we were to just, like, you know, completely ignore our dreams. Anyways, team, Lacey, are you cool? Can we pass over to you next? Is that cool? Okay, cool. And then after Lacey, who wants to go next? Justine. And then after Justine, who wants to go after Justine? I know we still have Ashley, Abby, Felicia, and Carley as well. So whoever wants to go after that. So Lacey, I'll pass over to you. Again, please feel free to kind of just like briefly introduce yourself, your relationship with dreams, any practical tips, and any particular dream stories. And just as context, dreams, we kind of talked about this earlier, but dreams are like a really, really cool way to be able to experience like other realms. And we'll talk more about that as we go. Anyways, Lacey, when you're ready, yes. Go right ahead, and welcome, Lacey. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi guys. I don't know where I'm looking.
There we go.
I see myself and it's weird. Hey, I just jumped in. I don't normally do this. I get a little nervous being on camera, but so I'm Lacey, and my relationship with dreaming has been since I was a little girl. I started recording my dreams when I was 9, so it's been well over 16 years now. And so yeah, that's just my story. So obviously I have a lot of experience studying dreams, so I consider myself a dream keeper, so keeping like the, you know, higher dimensional realms, write it down on paper. So yeah, he asked me to come on to just share some dreams I had the past couple nights. And we usually share, like, we'll text each other in the morning and just like, hey, like, how was dream recall, like what's going on there, and just prompt each other a bit, which is really nice. So yeah, the past couple nights I've been like traveling to some really cool, like I would consider like higher dimensional spaces, like fairy realms, which I've gone to before in the past with lucid dreaming and stuff like that. And these ones are fun, so I thought I'd share because they're kind of lighthearted and yeah, so up for interpretation or whatever. But so in the first dream, I mean, I did a lot of dream jumping, so I shifted through many different landscapes. But I'm right now, currently in my life, I'm going through a big transition. I'm moving. My older sister's moving in with me, so she actually appeared in my dream, and me and her were like kids again, almost. Like, just our, like, the way we were like moving around was very like childlike, and we were like knee deep in this beautiful lake, and there was like cliff sides all over, and there was spiraling shells like all in the water, and me and her were just laughing and just having the best time ever. And in one part we put these glasses on that warped reality around us, so people's faces kind of went funny, and we just kept laughing, and totally be something that me and my sister do. And so anyways, it like kind of transitions where I kind of moving through these different scenarios. I end up at this kind of like compound where these people learn how to harness time, and we're traveling through different dimensional spaces, and they're teaching it to us, or kind of like a training facility. And then from there, so a lot of shifting, I end up in this beautiful, what I would consider like Middle Earth. So it was very like fairy-like, elven, and I approach this small village, and there's this old man just like rocking on a rocking chair, and he's just laughing, and I'm just like, you know, like, hey, what's up? And just like came up to this guy, and then he starts telling me this stuff about how like fairies are shapeshifters, so they actually appear human and then they shapeshift into fairies like when they choose to, I guess. So ends up turning into this beautiful like kind of like a summer solstice like festival. Like, people are dancing, there's fairies. It was really, really playful and fun and lighthearted, and I think my heart really needed that right now with the climate in the world, and just my life is quite chaotic in the waking world. So I think that's a cool thing that I could drop here, is that dreams can be a way for us to, I think someone did say that, like escape, but not necessarily escape, but just like remember a part of your, like your child self. So you can enter this space of like pureness and like, and be able to wake up and bring it into your waking life. So for me, a lot of the times when I dream, I'm like, and I wake up, I'm able to kind of look over the whole dream. You know, I start from the back and move backwards and, you know, dissect everything, because I'm really crazy. I dissect even details that most people will kind of be like, what does that mean? You lost a shoe. Like, what does that even mean? But to me, I'm like, oh, that makes so much sense. Like, of course I lost my shoes. But so I take that into my waking reality, and I'm able to kind of be my own therapist and work through maybe some not so nice emotions and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm losing my train of thought, but yeah, dreams are just like a really amazing way to, I don't know, access your inner self and outer self, though, like the collective, because I think that all of us can dream for the collective, and we can, not every night, you know, sometimes you'll find you're going inside, and then sometimes you're downloading like information, right? And both are really, really important, and we should be sharing all of that. So write everything, anything, losing your shoe, seeing some old man in a rocking chair laughing, it's all important. So and it's so fun to look back and go like, it's almost like a memory. Like, I almost recall my dreams like they actually happened. So like, yeah. Oh, and then I had just the other night, a little bit more ominous, wasn't so like jolly and stuff, but another like fairy realm thing, and I don't know where this is coming from. It's not like I'm reading anything or watching anything.
You set the intention though, didn't you? I
did set the intention. I wanted to like travel to higher dimensional spaces, and sometimes you can go to quite like, there's so many different ones, but there's ones where I think the astral like we can meet up. So there's places where other people that are dreaming can meet up, and then there's like angelic spaces and all of that too. But this particular place, they were kind of like gnomes, but they weren't gnomes. They were little people, and I ended up in their place, and I was massive. And it's actually kind of funny though. Like, I was huge, and I'm not that tall, but like in this, I don't know, I was so big. And they had like this town meeting, and they're like, you know, they were going through a bit of a war with someone. I don't know who the antagonist was. I don't know who the bad guy was, but they were coming to like burn down the village, and there was fires around the village, and I'm with these little gnome, like these little goblin gnome people, and I'm like, what can I do to help? Like, I'm here to help. And but they're like, we need to protect you, like you got to stay safe, we'll use you later on, like we need you, like you're like gonna help us. So they shoved me inside this little barn, but I was too big for the barn. So I was like inside of it, and it was so tiny, and like they were just kicking, like these two little ones were just trying to like shove me in there. It's a silly dream, but like to me, I woke up and I was laughing, and then also was like, oh, like I hope they're okay. Like this is like, I actually believe it happened. So yeah, I think you can play out your own movie, your own stories, and it is so much fun. Yeah.
Do you feel like, because this is where again it gets really interesting, like using that as an example, be it your dream or just in general, do you feel that like these entities, because sometimes when we're interacting in dreams, it's like okay, this is like a projection of our own subconscious, this is like a character but it's not really an entity. It's more just kind of like, it's like a holodeck character.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's like we literally kind of like go into another realm, and it's like we're in their space, and like those are like actual conscious entities and things like that. You know, it's very similar where people talk about if they're doing like DMT, they'll like kind of like do DMT and they'll end up in a realm, and they're like, you're in our realm now. Like you just came through the portal. You're in our realm now.
Yeah.
Do you feel, using that dream or another dream as an example, did you feel that these characters, like these gnomish characters, did you feel like they were like real people? Like, if could you go back there, and what do you like? I know it's kind of hard to say, but anything that you felt that would?
It's hard to say. I think my interaction with them was pretty limited, but I would like to go back to get more information. Obviously, I've had dreams with, you know, other entities or humanoid, alien, hybrid, I don't know, like other types of beings that I would consider real because they had names, like they had faces, like they looked like real people to me, or like real, like they had soul, if that makes sense. And that's the only way I can describe it. It's like sometimes you'll be in a dream and there'll be like shells, and that's okay because I feel like there's like this interdimensional space that we can enter, and usually this is like our subconscious or whatever, and we're kind of like working through trauma, through our daily, you know, maybe we had a conversation with someone earlier that day that was like really not good, and we're able to access that inner, and you'll find when you're in that inner space, that's when like you'll have a lot of nightmares. I don't have nightmares. Like I don't consider nightmares because they're actually just there to, it's like, hey, you need to pay attention to this, you need to like listen to this. But I find that you'll notice that the characters in that environment are quite soulless, and then when you're like, this is like pretty advanced stuff, but like you'll notice when you're like lucid dreaming or whatever and having like more dreams, you will notice like there's this energetic like soul thing going on that can't fully be described with words. It can only be felt, but the more you practice, maybe that's something that you'll start to pay attention to a little bit. And I always ask names. I'm like, what's your name? Who are you? Like, and sometimes they'll tell me, and it's always really interesting. I'm like, where did that name come from? I'm like, this is amazing. They just told me who they are. So let's meet up in the dream realm. I'm like, let's go. I don't know what else to say, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, Lacey, thank you again for sharing the story, getting lots of love there from people in the chat. And again, problem. You know, just another example of what's possible. And I know Kristen, did you want to maybe even just reply to that? Because Kristen's had some experiences with like fairy realm as well, and then we'll pass it to Justine in a second. And I'd be curious if anybody else here has had experience with like fairy realm, and I'll tell you guys right now, next week's podcast is going to be on the mystery and magic of the Fae.
That's so random.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not random. I mean, okay. we're like leading into it. We're leading into it. So
I didn't know this.
Yeah. It's reverse time theory. It's destined to happen. So, anyways, but yeah, like clearly, you know, like this is an idea. Like, can we interact with Fae in dream space? And it seems like we can. Kristen, go ahead. I'm just curious, like because I saw you leaving some comments in the chat there. When you're ready, Kristen, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Lacey, that was such a beautiful description. Thank you so much for sharing. Your dreams are always so interesting and inspiring. But yeah, as far as the fairy realm, I've always really been very connected to the fairy realm in the 3D world. So that was kind of like the first place I wanted to go to. So I set the intention, and I had already been lucid dreaming and astral projecting in the dream space. So it's not like I just woke up and was like, I'm going to travel realms in the dream space. It's kind of something I built up to. But then once I did start doing it, it's like, yeah, you set the intention. And I mean, it's while you're in the dream space, you're kind of like, where do I want to go to next? And connecting with the fairy realm is like, there's no real words to describe it other than just like overwhelming, like energy on another level that's just pure and excitement and fun. And I mean, there's definitely, every realm has its darkness too, so like just accepting the fact that there's polarities to everything, but you know, you get to kind of choose what you interact with while you're there. But yeah, it's, you know, whenever you're in the dream space, it's one of those things that like you're paying attention to what's going on. But for me, I can always tell because I see kind of like a tunnel that I go through that turns into like a swirling vortex of colors. And that's kind of like whenever I pop through on the other side, it's like I can feel all the energies around me. So kind of like Lacey was saying, like you can connect with people energetically here in the 3D world, right? So whenever you go into the dream space, if you are connected enough with energies, other people's energies or entities' energies, it becomes really easy to recognize and connect with those in the dream space. And so like for me, a lot of the times I'll have interactions with people that I know in this reality that I'm like, they don't look like themselves in the dream space, but I know who they are because I can connect with their energy. And so just being able to be like, oh, you know, like we went and traveled to the fairy realm in the dream space last night. We had a ton of fun and did some dances and did some magic and stuff. And it's like, I know it was you because I can feel your energy. And so, you know, just being able to do that, it's definitely a unique and fun experience. But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Kristen, for sharing. Without having to dawdle too much, guys, because we're going to get close to wrapping up the broadcast, probably within less than 30-ish minutes if we can fit it in. But no worries, we'll make sure that we got enough time for everyone. I'm going to pass it over to Justine next, and who wants to go after Justine, and then we'll pass it over to Abby and then Felicia, and then from there, yeah. And Ashley, did you want to go after Felicia? If you'd like to go after that, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, all right, awesome. So pass it over to Justine, and then again we'll close it off with a little meditation, and we'll give a chance just for any closing words before we conclude the broadcast. Justine, go ahead when you're ready. Again, introduction, tips, you know, go ahead. Yeah,
I'll do the thing. Hi everybody, yeah. I'm Justine. I'm 5D aligned on TikTok and Instagram and pretty much every place. I was just like, let me just go register this name since I decided I'm going to use it, you know. How you do. I like to talk about being embodied in our 5D senses, which is how I refer to our psychic senses, because I firmly believe just like we have our regular 3D senses, see, touch, smell, what have you, we all have access to these psychic abilities as well. I'm trying to talk fast so we don't use like a ton of time because there are a few things I wanted to cover. My relationship to dreams is lifelong, and actually I would say that my precognitive and clairvoyant dreams were part of how I survived a very dangerous upbringing as a kid. So not to get too deep into that, but basically for me, how I started to really respect and log and track my dreams is because I would receive messages that helped me to stay safe in the situation I was brought up in. Yeah. So it was never a thing where I was like, oh, is this real? I was like, no. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dream Me. And obviously, as a kid, you don't know what's going on. I didn't really realize that this was a thing that other people experienced until like way later in life, and like having different words for different types of dreams, like precognitive, clairvoyant, whatever. Literally learned tonight. So thank you, Fiona, for putting words to things that I've been like experiencing for years and years and years. But yeah, so for me, I don't have an issue remembering dreams because it was like literally a life or death thing for me as a child. Good times. So I guess my practical advice for dreaming is like, your subconscious will respect what's important to you. So if you make your dreams a real priority and you show up for that priority, your subconscious is going to be like, all aboard, let's get on the train. And it doesn't need to be like life or death. You could just be like, you know what? Tonight I am not going to scroll TikTok until 2 a.m. Calling myself out here. I'm gonna, you know, drink some water and make the room dark and not be on my phone and, you know, do as I say, not as I do, folks. I'm so bad about this. But following some of these good sleep hygiene, dream hygiene practices that other people have followed, just do it. You're going to show yourself that you're showing up for your dreams. Your dreams will show up more for you. Practice makes proficient. So with that said, I have 2 dream stories I'm going to tell based on some questions that were asked in the YouTube chat. The first one I think I can tell shorter, so I'm going to tell it shorter. But basically, somebody asked about Akashic records in dreams. And so, again, Akashic records, something that I experienced before I learned about a name for it. Um, Thank you so much, Kristen. Anyway, so for me, I had a ton of past life dreams as a kid and then as an adult. And my lovely partner, my husband, and I actually have multiple past lives together and a soul contract that we made in one of the first lives we shared together to show up for each other and teach each other in every life we share. So I have a ton of dreams about that. Once I learned more about the Akashic records, I was able to take a more traditional Akashic records approach to like confirm and learn more and go deeper. It's like visible in our astrology charts. It's literally like mind-boggling. But to answer that question with a big fat yes, you can access past lives, etc. Akashic records, it can be done. Check. And then I actually have like kind of a funny story to tell. And I think Creature Being, who asked this question, is no longer on the chat, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the intensity of my clairvoyant dreams, and sort of similar, I guess, to Lacey sharing about her depth of experience as somebody who records and interprets dreams in a really deep way for a really long period of time, what my clairvoyant dreams are like and what I'm able to get out of them as somebody who's been practicing that for a really long time. So this is like a really funny dream. And to understand it, you need to know my husband's from Italy, but not from Milan. He's from Sardinia. So I had this dream that my husband and I were in Milan, and we were going to go live in a like 2-story loft flat with like a bed on the first floor and then like loft space with a second bed in Milan with his brother. He does not have a brother. He's an only child. But anyway, so we go and we show up, and it immediately clicks for me like this brother is not a brother in this life, but was in a previous incarnation or a future incarnation an actual brother to my husband. But anyway, so we show up, and weirdly he also has like a maid, and I'm like, what is this maid doing here? And she's being like incredibly rude to us and basically is saying like, oh, like I can't leave you alone, blah 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 blah, it's inappropriate. And we're like, lady, first of all, you work for his brother. Second of all, we're married and you're Catholic. What's going on with you? This makes no sense. And the dream becomes like so funny. When I tell you guys, I like woke up and I could tell I'd been like laughing because my abs hurt and my eyes were like watery. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so I was like, what are we going to do? I don't know. We'll call your cousin the priest. My husband actually does have a cousin who's a priest. And so I call his cousin Francesco. And his cousin flies from Sardinia to Milan just to like give this lady a talking to. And she like leaves in a huff and gets mad. And it's like, you know what? Fine, you're right. This is correct that, you know, you're married, you're allowed to have, you know, alone time with your partner. It's them's the rules. I was wrong, goodbye. And then I like woke up and it was just like ridiculous because I usually don't have like extremely funny dreams, but it was interesting because I woke up and not only was it a clear dream, but that much is normal for me. But the way I received it, there was an important message that I needed to receive at this point in this timeline about asking for help, making sure that I'm checking in with the people I'm living with, and just some more detailed things that I don't really feel comfortable to share publicly. But out of each part of that story, a lot of it sounds trivial, but like, what do I personally associate with Milan? What does that type of apartment mean to me? You know, what is Francesco's real role in my real life? These types of things, it all plays into like, oh, I had a clear message that I needed in order to get through some things that happened in the last week or so. That's probably a little bit vague, so let me like take a second and see if I can like put what's in my mind out for you. But basically it was like a little instruction manual for me from my guides of like, here's the things you need to go to do to have more ease and flow in your life, which is something that I've been very focused on manifesting lately. So it was like, imagine a checklist from the universe. It was like through this dream, I received such a checklist. So I hope you were entertained as I was. But yeah, that's sort of what I wanted to share. And I think Lacey explained a lot better and more in depth about interpreting small details. So I will skip that in the interest of time. But yeah, just keep at it and listen and be open and don't be afraid. And if you want to experience more, ask for it and act in a way that supports what you've asked for. Yeah. We'll leave it there. Namaste, everybody.
Beautiful. Awesome. Justine, I think again, you know, I think just that last part and what you were saying, that yeah, you know, setting that intention, telling the universe that like, yes, I'm putting focus towards my dreams, and again, it doesn't mean that you have to do things perfectly all the time. It's a learning curve. You're gonna fall off the horse, but it's about how to get back on, and I'm sure that will be an experience for all of us. There will be certain moments in our lives where go wherever your attention is called, right? So like if there's certain parts in your life where it's just like, yeah, you know what, I've got so many things happening in my life right now that I honestly just can't really focus on my dreams quite in the same way. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up over that. I mean, honestly, in some ways, it's kind of a privilege to be able to have the freedom to be able to focus on your dreams. So again, if you have that ability, please utilize it to the best of your ability, not just for yourself, but again, you know, for whatever the future may hold through your messages, and again, just the momentum that we're creating for others. But yeah, you know, I think it goes for all of us, where it's like, yeah, you know, like I know a lot about how to achieve dream expertise, but I am not an expert, you know, because it is something that is challenging, and that's why again the community is here to be able to support each other in it. So cool. Gonna get ready to pass on unless Lacey wanted to jump in with anything here, co-captain here. You don't have to. I'm just
no, I think what she said was totally with the past lives and everything. It's just like, man, could talk a lot about this.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely go more in depth for sure.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk. Other people want to talk. So.
Yeah, and again, if you guys are looking for kind of like, if you're just like by the end of this broadcast, if you're just like, I want more, seriously, just go back and listen to like one of the 30 past episodes that we've had. But yeah, again, you know, that's one of the things we hit upon it, but we haven't gone into depth, where it's like within dreams, you can literally again receive information beyond linear perspective, beyond, you know, from your past lives, from your future lives as well. So this is where it gets very, very interesting, because again, you know, dreams are like a soul playground. So yeah, it gets very, very dynamic. Justine, thanks again. And again, you know, just reminding people, if you guys are tuned in and if you hear someone talking about something and if you resonate with what they talk about, please feel free to reach out to them. For the creators who are in the YouTube chat, please feel free to leave your like @ with your handle so people can find you, and invite them to contact you if you feel called to. And again, check the show notes 24 hours after the broadcast to make sure you can find all the links for everybody featured here. So with that said, we are going to pass it. Sorry, was it Abby who was going next? Yes. Okay, it was. So perfect. All right, we're passing it to Abby, and then let me just double check here. I'm not 100% sure. Felicia, did you want to go after that? And then, sorry, Ashley, can you give me a thumbs up? Did you want to go after? Okay, perfect. And then Carley, did you want to go after Ashley? Okay, perfect. And then I think that's pretty much everyone. And then from there, we're just going to kind of go around with any sort of closing thoughts, and that will keep us relatively within the time frame. But don't feel rushed, guys. Don't feel rushed. Speak from your heart. That's what we're here to do. So when you're ready, Abby, passing it over to you. And again, please feel free to kind of introduce yourself, your experience with dreams so far, any tips, tricks, experiences. And yeah, Abby, thank you so much for being here. When you're ready, go right ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Abby. Any advice that I have, I get my dreams in like flash images really quick throughout the day. So something that I find that helps me is I draw them out, even if it's like not a good detailed drawing, just like a simple sketch can help me remember and get through the messages that I was supposed to receive. Also, with the visitations, I get a lot of visitation dreams. I have spirit guides that were in my family that passed away. my first one being my great grandma. When I knew her, she didn't have an arm, and sorry, I had to mute my computer. She didn't have an arm, and then I'd known already that she was my spirit guide, but there was this dream that I had where we were like, it was her and her daughter, and then like just a whole bunch of other relatives that like felt familiar, but I didn't know them. And my great grandma like had her full arm back. She was young, and like I'd never seen her like that before, but I knew it was her. And for me, that was her way of kind of confirming that she's leading me through this journey that I'm still starting. And another visitation that I had was with my grandfather, who I never really met, but he had came to me, and I saw him, and I went to my mom and I said, "You might want to reach out because something might be going on with him." And then a couple months later, he passed away, and he came to me and told me he's guiding me through this process too. So that's all really I have to share.
Abby, thank you so much for sharing, and just again, just knowing that there's so much more to get into. I love just hearing that you draw your dreams. That's such a good practical tip, because I'm sure like a lot of people could relate to that and everything like that. Like, how long have you been doing that? Just kind of curious.
I mean, I've been drawing for years and years and years, but I just recently started drawing out my dreams like in June. Yeah. Because I started getting more messages from spirit guides that weren't like my relatives. They're from just, I don't know where, they were just coming to me, and I just was trying to understand what they were trying to show me.
And you felt that like drawing them out helped you kind of like decipher them over time, or at least just
yeah
keep track of them. Yeah,
kind of just like paint the picture of what they were trying to get through to me is exactly what it was doing.
That's really, really cool. And so would you paint, like, I'm just curious, would you be like drawing like locations and like, or would it be like people?
It would be more people. Yeah. Just
people.
Quick sketches of people and faces.
Whoa. And like, and you would remember the faces with enough detail to sketch them, obviously. Eh?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's really, really cool. And I like how you were saying again, how with some of this, you're talking about how, the visions and everything like that, they're not always coming through when you're sleeping. And so would this be kind of, would you call it daydreaming, or would it be just kind of like, thoughts that are just kind of like entering into you as you're just kind of going about your day? If you can explain that.
Yeah, it's almost like a deja vu. So like I'll see something that like I remember, oh, I had this dream, and then it like the image flashes of just one quick second of something that happened in the dream.
And when you say it flashes, with like, because again, one thing that's interesting is that different people, like, we don't all see things quite the same way. When people kind of close their eyes, some people, again, this is still something I'm coming to understand, some people when they close their eyes and they meditate, like I've asked them, it's like they say it as if they're like seeing like a screen in front of them. But then other people, it's like, no, I'm seeing blackness, but I'm still like feeling, I'm like seeing it with my heart. If that makes sense. And that's kind of like what it is for me. But I know for some people, as I'm coming to understand, they're like, no, like I literally, as if someone's holding a Polaroid picture right up to my face, and I see it quite like that. And obviously for you, like, to be able to see it with such a detail, it's literally like, here's like a flash of it, but it's enough for you to kind of like, it's like, oh, okay, I took a picture of that, I got the memory of it, and now I can actually draw it and everything like that. I'm just fascinated. That's really, really, really interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to add on to that?
No, nothing really I could add on to that. I don't have any really good ones I could show or anything like that. So
that's still super fascinating. And again, I'm sure it's something that, again, people are going to relate to in different ways. And again, I think even just kind of like what I was saying there, because different people, like, especially when you guys are kind of like falling asleep at night, because like that's the thing, right? Like, when we're practicing dreams, essentially what we're doing is we're getting better at being conduits for information.
Yeah.
That is essentially what we are doing. And that information can come through literally when we are sleeping, but it also comes through when we're in meditation, when we are in the hypnagogic state, when we are kind of what you're saying, kind of like walking around minding our own business, and then suddenly, whoa, information comes, kind of like a file kind of gets like downloaded really quick in that context. So again, I'm still learning just based on all the different experiences that we have. And And yeah, I think it's important just kind of like keep in mind that we are always kind of receiving messages from spirit, and knowing that we're all going to kind of receive them in a variety of different ways. So Abby, thank you for sharing that. That's like opened my mind up a little bit. So
Awesome.
Beautiful. And again, team, just encouraging here, whatever way you guys feel called to document, find a way that works for you, right? Like, I think like some people, it's like, okay, I'm going to write it down in my journal. How you write in your journal is going to be different. Some people might be like, I'm literally going to write this out as if it's a story that I'm telling to someone. Some people are going to be like, I'm just going to put point form notes. Some people are going to draw sketches and things like that. But at the same time, I would encourage those of you here, if you want to give yourself the challenge to even make like a video log, to like tell your story back like a video, because this is something that can really just kind of help you develop a little bit more of the storytelling aspect. But again, it kind of sends a signal out to the bigger dimensions of ourselves, where it's like, oh, this person's actually like making like videos and stuff like that. Like, okay, let's kind of bring something to them that they could theoretically turn into a video, so to speak. I've made a bunch of dream video logs in the past, haven't done it quite as much recently. I've always been inspired to communicate in that way. And that's something where, again, for those of you, especially leading members and things like that, like, first thing in the morning, maybe write it down real quick, sit in your bed, don't even get up right away, and then just like take out your phone and turn it around. Don't worry about like how, what you look like too much, even if it's just audio, and then just kind of be like, okay, here's what I remember, and see what happens, see what kind of comes up from doing it in that practice. And again, another thing that just came to mind is poetry. Write poetry about your dreams if you feel called. Write songs about your dreams if you feel called. Like, I know some of us here are literally already, like song makers and songwriters. We're all songwriters and everything in our own way. But again, like, I think that could just, there's many different mediums for us to be able to help bring forth these messages as well. So awesome. Abby, thank you again. And we're gonna get ready to pass it along, unless, no, Lacey, you didn't, no, you're good. Thumbs up from Lacey. Okay, cool. All right, awesome. We're just keeping an eye on the time here, but we're going to keep rolling through things. Everybody here. Oh,
I wanted to add something.
Just nice and loud, Lacey. Go for it.
Sorry, what was her name?
Abby?
Abby. Yeah, you were like looking for a word to describe. You're like, oh, daydreaming. I was like, oh, she's channeling, right? Like, that's what you're doing. Like, if it's like spirit, I feel like you're channeling it. It's like coming down like a funnel. Yeah. That's all I want to say.
Not even just negative, but a lot of energies that haven't been the best on this earth go through me and transmute through me. So I get a lot of spirit connection.
Such a gift. That's
fascinating. Beautiful. Yeah, and again, just off that, I can't help but think of the idea that, a lot of us who are tuned into this broadcast, who are interested in this isn't the first lifetime that we've probably been interested in this kind of stuff, so if a lot of us kind of already have these gifts developed, it's probably something that we've developed in past future lifetimes, so to speak. But yeah, I think the word channeling is appropriate, because when I think of that, I think of it as like a channel of water, like there's energy literally flowing in. So it's like, how do we receive that as well? So and again, for those of us who are ready to receive it, I think we'll, very, very particular information will come through. And flash forward 5 years from now, and again, I think that information could be, we're living a sci-fi movie right now, guys. Like, I don't know, I can't really put it any other way. Like, it's literally something where it's like the codes of the universe are being like delivered to us. It's like Tenet, and it's like all of us have different parts of the algorithm and stuff like that. So anyways, let's keep moving along through here, and with that said, we're gonna pass it over. Was it Felicia we were gonna pass it to next? Okay, we'll pass it over to Felicia, and then we got a few more people, and then we'll get into some closing thoughts, and we'll get into our closing meditation. Thank you again. If you guys are having fun, drop some comments of gratitude down in the chat. Felicia, when you're ready, again, just kind of introduction, how you relate to dreams, practical tips, and any dream experiences you'd like to share. And welcome back, Felicia. When you're ready, go right ahead.
Hello. I've had a lot. I'm Felicia. I also go by Phoenix. I have had a lot of experience in depth with dreaming ever since I was really little. Like, going into like different dimensions and waking up closer to the one I'm in, having to check outside my bedroom to make sure it was real, and all sorts of crazy stuff like that I've talked about in like previous episodes and so on. Definitely there's a lot, like, trying to think of like any tips that like anybody else like really hasn't mentioned beyond the usual. And I really can't think of anything else that isn't like the same couple things right now. I'm also really tired. I've been adjusting to a new job, getting up at 4 in the morning, beautiful sunrises, but definitely, and it's been making my dreams interesting too, and like switching them slightly, having a whole different sleep schedule and having that sort of adjustment to it. I really like what I believe her name was Abby had just now, about when you're just standing there in the middle of the day and all of a sudden, boom, you feel like you either remember a dream or you feel like you're still in it. And for me, it'll sometimes feel like I'm still like, and I love that Lacey brought up calling it channeling, because that really puts a perfect word on something I myself have struggled to like find words to describe. Because when it happens to me in the middle of the day, I'll be standing there like washing the dishes, cooking, working, and suddenly I remember a dream, and it feels like I'm in that dream and my body's still there in the physical realm and my mind's kind of still here in this physical realm, but all of me somehow feels like it's in that other place at the same time. And I have trouble finding like putting words to describing it, and just that putting that extra word to that really helps a lot. Also kind of similar but kind of different. I've been noticing a lot, and I kind of have a theory on, I see certain places like repeated in dreams that are not just similar types of locations, but it feels like it's the same location, but just in like parallel dimensions or something like that. If that makes any sense. Hold on, I gotta sit up for a second. Trying to like lean with my charger and my phone's messed up. But feels like these places, like there's this one particular one I have that's like a store. And sometimes it's more of a grocery store. Sometimes it's more of a like Marshalls or Walmart or whatever, like general kind of store, but it seems to be in the same place, and a lot of dreams seem to take off from there. I'm kind of like struggling to find words to describe what I'm trying to say right now too, but it kind of like relates, at least in the way I understand it. I might not be wording it quite properly, but that's an interesting like theory seed or whatever, that I kind of want to plant with people. And I'm curious, if anybody has any similar sort of things in repeating in dreams with locations that seem to be like repetitive but somehow the same place, that's just in a different shape. It's different shape or form from a like a parallel dimension in another dream or something like that. I have so many things I could say about dreams. I could like go on, but I think I'm just gonna like leave it there, and I should probably like even cut off a few minutes early to start getting ready for sleep, um and whatnot. But it's my like I've been rested up, so I feel like I could stay up just enough, and I feel some good dreams coming on. um Thank you as always for holding space and giving me the opportunity. And I'm grateful that I still have space like this to partake in, even with my new job and all. And it's the one I go back into is dream class right before sleep, so it's just perfect. Synchronistic as usual. Love all of you guys. Those that I know, those that I don't know. Hello, I love you too. And I'm just gonna probably pop right off the call from here. But thank you once again. It's been awesome. You all rock. I'm gonna go go fly on. In regards to the last dream class, and when you did the thing where we like flew, but we could have a dragon if we wanted to when we flew to favorite spots, and instead I had Appa, and I went to both a favorite festival and the dream tree, and then I kept going back around to like this life, like physical realm, and picking up all my friends like from near and far, and we kept flying around on Appa. So I'm gonna go fly on Appa, pick up all my friends. We're gonna go rock out at the dream tree. See y'all there.
That's awesome. Felicia, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be able to have you here, even if it is just, you know, right before you're heading into the dream space. So Felicia's gonna jump into the dream space, but then she'll like warm the space up for us, and then we'll meet her there by the time we're done the broadcast. Yeah, exactly. We'll see you there. Tell Appa we said hi. All right, beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Felicia.
Good night, y'all.
Beautiful. Good night, Felicia. Awesome. Sweet team. And again, you know, even just stuff Felicia's bringing up there, I know a lot of you are just like commenting in the chat, and there's like, yeah, like that's such a thing, right? Where there's like common places that you visit within dream space and everything like that. And again, those are the things you're going to become more aware of as you start bringing more awareness into your dreams. You're going to start recognizing places. Like even for me, like just as an example, this is a dream that I had the other day where it's like I dreamt that I was like at like my childhood house, you know, and then like that may be a thing for you, things that are kind of like imprinted into your memory. But it can really get interesting when we start opening up to the idea of, you know, like what shared places can we start arriving to. And this is again kind of segueing into our closing meditation where we're working towards meeting up at the life tree, at the dream tree within the dream space. So awesome. So where the broadcast ends, the conversation continues in another dimension. We just have to figure out how to see. That's going to be the future, guys. It's literally going to be like us being able to like record what happens in our dreams, and then it's going to be like this is spoiler alert, this is what's going to happen in the future. I mean we're from the future, I'm from the future, you're from the future, maybe you are, maybe we aren't, maybe I don't know, who cares, whatever. As a crazy idea, eventually what's going to happen theoretically, maybe, I don't know, is eventually we're going to get to this point where we're going to be able to like augment our dreams, and in the same way where you could kind of like access like a video game where you can kind of like choose things and shape things. Maybe, again, this is a maybe thing, this is just a theoretical thing. Maybe it will get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to sleep, and then it's like put like it's I don't know, it's like kind of like Black Mirror almost, and you kind of like put a little thing and you go to sleep, but then you enter into the dream space, but you're like fully conscious there. And much like a video game, you can almost like pick and choose your locations and stuff like that. So it's like, without having to worry about that future augmented technology, it's understanding that that's already possible within us. But anyways, that type of stuff just gets me excited to know that, again, you know, we're moving towards this reality where our experience will be more than just this one dimension. And it already is multidimensional. You know, when we play video games, it's very much that. But now, instead of going to the dimensions outside of ourselves, we're focusing on going to the dimensions inside of ourselves. So for those of you tuned into the broadcast right now, welcome to the future. This is like literally, again, you know, like pioneering stuff. And we're going to look back on this and we're going to be like, oh wow, you know, like we were onto something here. So thank you for being a part of it. All right. Sorry, am I passing it to Carley or to Ashley? Who am I passing it? Am I passing to Ashley? I'm passing to Ashley. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, Ashley, again, basic introductions, tips, tricks, experience with dreams, and anything else. You know how it works. So Ashley, let me just bring it up here. Okay, there you go. All right, Ashley, when you're ready, thank you so much for being here, and go.
I'm Ashley. I'm Ashma7 on TikTok. I don't have a lot of content, but it is what it is. So I'm relatively new to accepting my journey. I think I've kind of tried to put it in this box for so long that it just exploded. I was really taught at a young age to kind of almost fear and suppress my dreams, interestingly enough, because I've always had these super vivid dreams. And kind of clairvoyant dreams at times as well. So really kind of getting back into the point to where I'm no longer suppressing them, but accepting them, experiencing them, and kind of recalling them and remembering them. I also paint. So I like to put things that I see or images that really stick on canvas and kind of experience those again in a recall. And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. So just to confirm, you paint sometimes? You're like, Yeah. Oh wow, that's really cool. And what like when you're painting, is it any particular type of paint that you're using, medium wise?
I generally use acrylic, but I also use some watercolor depending on like what I'm painting on. Like I like to paint my furniture randomly enough.
Oh, cool. That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. And Ashley, if there's any future paintings that you want to maybe share in the Discord chat or anything like that, please feel free. And again, you know, like I think that's an invitation for all of us to just like start like painting more of like these imagination realms and everything like that. So awesome. Ashley, thank you so much for joining in and for sharing that. Oh yeah, no, that'd be great. Yeah, I'd love to be able to see your interpretation of that. Awesome. Wonderful. Ashley, thank you so much.
Will do.
All right. Okay, team. We're going to pass it over to Carley. And then from there, we're going to get into just some like closing thoughts, maybe some final tips and tricks. And then we'll wrap it up with a quick little meditation. So Carley, again, I think you've got an idea of what you need to do. Yeah. And when you're ready, Carley, go right ahead. Pass it over to you.
Cool. Hey, guys. This is my first time. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, let's do it. I'll hold it. Yep, it's all in my sweater right now. Definitely. Okay. Oh, here, I'll put this headphone in. Is that better? Cool. Okay. So I am totally new here. This is my first time ever being live with you guys, but I was at the full moon party and that was awesome. So that just like dragged me right in. It was like, these are my people. This is great. Everything everyone said has resonated in like really important ways for me. I've been taking notes the whole time and like journaling, but definitely have been having the reoccurring dreams, like we talked about, like just that feeling of I've been here before, like with these people that I don't really recognize but that feel like my soul tribe, and we're always doing really important things. Like there's some government that we're trying to free a bunch of people from, or like some kind of weird, like it's like almost like we're an army that is like doing this light work, like all these light guardians, we've all joined together and we're here to like make that mission a reality. And it was just like, but I didn't really, kind of recognize people, but not really. And I feel like through the dream tree, when we did that meditation, I feel like I really connected with that and kind of went there in my dream. And it wasn't really vivid for me. So I'm hoping that if I do more journaling and like do more meditating and quiet my mind before bed. I brought my baby Yoda too. This is my son. He's a little night owl. So I feel like I've been kind of distracted during this, but I keep my headphones in so I can hear you guys. So yeah, but that's basically what like my intuition was telling me that I wanted to talk about, was just like that reoccurring place, whether it be like all different kinds of buildings with lots of different passageways and lots of like kind of real life stuff, but things that are like stretched like through, kind of alternate reality style. So always really cool. Lots to do with water. And yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to say, was just that idea of like all of us coming together for some bigger message, bigger meaning.
That's so cool. So do you feel like, even if the details might not have been there, do you feel that again, like the dreams that you were having, now that you're here, you're just like kind of like you can see it kind of like creating this bigger picture where it's like, oh, like that, now I understand, like this is who I was dreaming about. Like, was it kind of something like that kind of?
Yes. Is that weird? Yeah. It's like, oh, hey guys,
that's so awesome. Yeah, up, I know, right?
Yeah. Wild.
Totally. No, that's cool. And again, I think that's because like with a lot of us, like for anybody here, if you guys are tuned in, you're not here by accident. This is a very specific signal that we've put out through this project, through this team, through these podcasts and everything like that. And it's meant to literally serve as a beacon and a portal to find the other people that are already, again, on this soul level connected to this story, to this mythos, this activation of the light guardians, the awakening of the dreamers, the building of this team of the shifters. And I love that, Carley. Again, and it's a great way to almost kind of like get the broadcast kind of wrapped up. Again, is that, like in the dream space, we already know each other. because the dream space is the soul space. It's the soul realm, whatever it may be. But it just kind of shows that, again, you know, like within the dream space, we have this ability to kind of like see things before they happen, to connect with people that we haven't met yet, and then those what we may recognize as dreams are actually almost like breadcrumbs, kind of like calling us forth towards something. Or again, it's kind of, you get into this whole kind of like reverse time theory where some people, again, you know, they'll dream about someone before they met them, and they'll be like, whoa, like I feel such a strong connection with that person, and then flash forward a couple of years later, and like, you know, like they're like best friends with that person, and be like, whoa, okay, like now I understand, right? So it's like, when it's relative, and it won't always be the case, but when it's relative, the dream will be like, oh, here's a little like glimpse of the future, just a glimpse. That's all you need. We're not going to show you everything, but just enough to kind of spark your curiosity, to pique your interest, and to show you that there's something more, and that you're and even if you don't fully understand it, it might not be until further down the road. And then you eventually realize it. And again, you know, just kind of with your baby Yoda there, with the young ones as well, right? Like being able to hold space for them to be able to talk about their dreams is so important. And I know we have, you know, there are many mothers within this community as well, and I know that's an important thing for the mothers who are spiritually conscious and aware and everything like that, encouraging and just applauding them for holding space, for being able to talk to their young ones about dreams, because like there's that sweet spot when they're kind of like, they're able to talk, they haven't been conditioned out of it. It's kind of between like 2 and 4-ish. And like, if you start asking them about dreams, like they will tell you the craziest stuff, you know? And so like, I'm sure there's probably like a whole nother podcast there where it's just like, you know, the thing, kids talk about the craziest dreams, the podcast or something like that. I mean, I'm just curious, Carley, has it like, is that something that's, is
He's
your
not
Yoda talking
yet? No, not yet.
Not yet.
But
Yeah.
he's in the
Yeah.
babble stage. But that's
Yes.
something that I definitely want to encourage, is just his openness to everything, you know, supernatural he might experience, because that was so shut down in my childhood. Like all these really, like you're saying, Justine, like the vivid dreams we have as kids that are just like, oh, like don't talk about that, or you know, we're just not gonna you know, maybe really dive into it the way we could as adults. And having that open mind to the things we can learn from them is so big.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's the thing, right? You talk to the kids, and like they may have something that's actually like for you or something like that. Like they'll tell you your dream, be like, what did you dream? Be like, Mommy, I dreamt that me and you were in a sparkly city or something like that, you know, and we were doing something. Be like, whoa, like, okay, I'm listening, you have my attention. And it turns out that, again, you know, this kid is literally like this messenger for this like bigger multidimensional story that you and them have shared on a soul level. So it's not uncommon, again, for us to have dreams where this hasn't really specifically been talked about during this broadcast. Again, there's just always so much to talk about, where you might have a dream about someone and they look different, but you know who it is. You're not the same physical form, but like I'm pretty sure that I know exactly who you are. But like maybe like, again, and it could be like a role reverse or something like that. Like if it's like, you know, something with your parents, you might dream where like you're the parent and they're the child, and maybe that's a past life, or maybe that's just a powerful story to be able to kind of like reflect on the connection or something like that. But yeah, again, you know, like and again, you know, for people who are just like listening to this and they're like, man, like I don't have dreams like that and everything like that. One thing I will say, and as we get close to wrapping up this broadcast, be inspired by other people's dreams, but don't judge your dreams based on other people's dreams. Don't try to value your dreams based on the fact that other people are having their own dreams and everything like that. That goes for dreams, that goes for your own story and everything like that. Your dreams are going to be uniquely your own, and they're uniquely special. And if you feel you're just like, you know, like my dreams, like I feel like there's something more, but like they're not quite as magical as I want them to be, good, feel that, work towards that, and use it as like an objective, use it as a goal. Because again, like as you kind of show up for that, knowing that it is possible. It's very much a science. That's the thing with dreams. Like when you, again, practice meditation, write down your dream journal, pay attention to your everyday waking life, surround yourself with community and develop these practices, go to sleep with intention, clean your goddamn room, goddamn. And just like all those basic things, right? Like you start doing all those, and again, the universe will be like, now you're ready. The student is ready, and the lessons shall appear, right? So it's like, if you're waiting for those dreams, then good, because that means that you're at the point where you're consciously aware that there is something more, and that's the thing, right? Like I think a lot of people, they're going to look at 2020 and they're going to be like, this was the best year, relatively speaking, ever, in terms of the awakening that happened. And one thing, and again, we're just gonna wrap it up here and then we'll get into closing thoughts. I heard I heard on the radio not too long ago, there was some sort of article, I don't know where this came from, but somehow people literally had like this study where, and this is like, I believe it, there have been more people who have actively been remembering their dreams this year more than any year. Like the dream activity for the collective is off the scale right now. And a big reason for that is because people aren't waking up to alarm clocks. People aren't waking up and going to work in the morning quite in the same way. And like that's another huge tip. If you can afford to, don't wake up to an alarm clock, because the alarm clock, it basically just like flushes your dream down the toilet, unless it's like a soft alarm clock, so to speak, or something like that. So if you can, just wake up normally. And another quick tip, if you can, wake up almost 2 hours before you would normally wake up for a little bit, do some movement, do some yoga, maybe write down any dreams that you already had, sit down and meditate for a bit, just kind of get into that place, observe your thoughts, maybe just kind of like, again, kind of hold open the cup and see what comes in, and then go back to sleep. If you do that, you're probably gonna like that usually creates a condition for something interesting, when you kind of, again, go to sleep with kind of your mind's awake, your body's kind of falling asleep, and you kind of move into the dream space with the awakened consciousness. That can usually happen, and then you're just asleep maybe just for like a minute or two there. I feel like there's probably some people who got like some things to say. Does anybody want to? Kira? Yeah, go ahead, and then we're gonna get close. Okay, so we're basically into closing thoughts at this point. So if anybody who's taking the talking stick here, we'll just go around for some quick, just kind of popcorn style discussion and add in any closing thoughts as well. And Carley, thank you again for sharing. Kira, I'll pass it over to you. And if anybody else wants to jump in after Kira, by all means, go ahead, Kira, when you're ready.
Yeah, kind of just to piggyback off of that, I actually wrote that down, which is kind of crazy you were saying it. The biggest thing is patience is key in all of this. I mean, patience is probably one of the biggest things that you guys really have to pay attention to, because things happen when they're supposed to happen. I'll call it like divine time, if you want to call it that. Things happen on your journey as they're supposed to happen for you specifically. If you live off of, because I'm a person, I used to really be for instant gratification. If I didn't get it at that time, I'm like, I don't even really want it anymore, because I wanted it now, and you're not giving it to me. And what's the point of me having if I don't get it now? But if you live off somebody else's journey, it isn't special for you. So if you let things happen how they're supposed to happen for you, because this is your journey, even though we're all sharing it, this is for you, to build you, so that we all can collectively learn to love together, so and also Abby and Ashley, they paint and they draw their dreams. I am more of a writer. I can articulate myself a lot better with words than I cannot draw. I can make a nice stick figure, don't get me wrong, my stick figure's A+, okay, but I'm a very big writer. I love to write poetry, and with my acting I can create characters, so I'm able to be creative with my mind and with my words. So not only is this journey yours, but it's also for you to express yourself in a way that you know how to, in the best way possible. And when you're able to articulate yourself in that way, it makes that journey just more special, for you. You know what I'm saying? And so also when you're writing down your dreams and you're writing it, sometimes if you don't remember your dreams, because I used to be a person that didn't remember their dreams for a while, but for me, when I would speak to like my spirit guides in my dreams or things like that, like I said, I am an overthinker. So when I would remember certain parts of my dreams, they would just give me a message in pieces. So I wouldn't remember the entire dream specifically, but there would be something that oh, can you hear me? You can be fine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but when they would talk to me, they would just give me something that I would remember. Like as soon as I woke up, it would be like maybe a saying or a sentence or something that I needed to remember that was specific to me to help me remember it. So not all dreams have to be remembered like fully. You don't have to have something like very, very specific or very, very vague. It can be something quick, just like that, just something really nice for you. And, it can really help. I remember things a lot better now. They're giving me like bits and pieces. And so when those pieces start to connect, then the bigger picture can start to come along. So it's all about how you can process your dreams in the best way for you. Don't depend on how other people interpret it or how other people are trying to tell you how to interpret it. Think about how you can articulate that in the best way possible, and it will really help you, because it's really helped me that way. So that's all I have to say.
Awesome. Very, very well said, Kira. Absolutely. I think that's incredibly important. And again, like that's a whole nother discussion topic that we haven't really fully gotten into, is again, the whole like interpretations of dreams and everything like that. But yeah, like sometimes this kind of happened with me even yesterday. I know I remember my dream, but I don't fully remember my dream. But even still, there was like one phrase that came with me out of it. The phrase that I woke up with, I wrote it down. It was the phrase, cage wisdom or cave wisdom. I'm not sure which one it was. It was either one or both. But it was really, really interesting. And I was just kind of like, I'm like, because there was a context to it. But it was kind of like referring to like almost like Plato's allegory of the cave. Like it was that's what I knew it was about. And so I was just kind of like waking up to it. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. It's like again, it's and this is the thing, guys, like, right, like it's not like every dream is literally just its own isolated incident. Sometimes like dreams almost take place as like a series that kind of unfolds over multiple episodes. So you might get like hints in one dream, and then it's like, what does this mean? And then in the next dream you get more clues, and stay tuned next week or something like that. Like I don't know, like who's writing this stuff? Like I well, that's a discussion for another time. But again, I think there are multiple ways to be able to look at it. But I do think, at least from my perspective, that again, dreams are both something that are like internally a reflection of whatever is inside of us. But then there is also this other part where it's like, call it higher dimensional entities or whatever. But like this is just my idea. I feel like they are almost kind of like scripting things. Like they are like writing things out, and they are delivering them to us. Like maybe there's like a room with like 1,000 monkeys on a typewriter, and they're typing out dreams on a higher dimensional level, and then that's what we experience. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. This is just a metaphor, guys. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, dreams have meaning. Dreams have importance, and it's always going to be relative to the individual. So two people could have the exact same dream, and it could be a completely different experience for both. All right, team. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for being here. Again, this has been a wonderful practice. We're just going to go around with any closing thoughts and gratitude real quick, and then we'll get right into our meditation. We'll wrap things up here within the next, I would say, less than 20 minutes. And again, just by everybody being here, this has been another step forward for us as a team, for us as a community, to be able to help lead by example. And honestly, I encourage each of you, especially those of you who are already, again, creating content on TikTok, keep talking about dreams. Keep giving people tips about dreams. Keep encouraging people. This is something important. The dream topic will always be relevant. And honestly, for those of you who are, again, are in the process of creating TikToks, I challenge and encourage you to curate messages from your dreams into your TikToks. Meaning that, if you had a dream, it can be like, I want to do this too. Once I kind of get up to the level where my recall is good enough and I feel it's a dream worth sharing, where I literally want to be like 1 minute dream story here, boom, I woke up in fairyland, and then Lacey came flying in on a griffin, or something. When we went through the portals, or something like that. Anyways. Lacey's just smiling and laughing at me. Anyways, but yeah, no, seriously, like we need to talk more about dreams as a community, because especially, again, keeping in mind that there are people that are just getting started into this stuff. And again, why do we want to talk about dreams? Because dreams are something knowledge through direct experience, gnosis. You know, it's not just a theory, it's something you can directly experience. And when you have those vivid dreams, they can radically shift someone's paradigm. It's like a psychedelic experience. It can completely transform someone by opening them up, and again by helping them understand that there is more to this reality, that the rabbit hole goes deeper. Because that's the thing, guys, a lot of people, they're kind of stuck in this state of this reality. They think that what they think is all there is, you know, but dreams are like this treasure chest, and it's not even a freaking treasure chest. It's a treasure chest that's actually a portal. It's like one of those treasure chests, and you step into the treasure chest, and then you like go into the treasure chest, and then you come out in fairyland or something like that. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm saying? Anyways, guys, all right, thank you everyone again. It's been such a joy just having you here and taking part in this as a community. Let's go around, just closing thoughts. Going around, Kristen, we'll pass it over to you, and then we'll pass it over to Chris, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll get into the meditation shortly. When you're ready, Kristen, go ahead.
Beautiful. I just wanted to extend so much gratitude to each one of you beautiful, sparkling souls for sharing such open and genuine space, allowing everybody to come here and be vulnerable and speak from their heart and share wisdom from within. It's very important. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to each one of you, sending you all so much love. And I invite each and every one of you to just bring creativity into your space. If you accept the fact that you can create your reality, whether that's here or in the dream space, it can really give you a lot of power and ability. So just get creative and leave the fear behind, and just lead with love, and you'll be surprised at where you can go. So much love for you all.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kristen. And just one thing on that, and I'll pass it over to Chris, because I thought about this earlier but I just forgot to mention it. Feed your mind with like fantasy, with imagination, with creativity. Feed yourself with things that are inspiring you. Again, you know, watch movies. Go watch the Studio Ghibli movies. Go watch, again, you know, like any sort of like fantasy movie that might just kind of like open you up and bring back this reality of magic into your life, that again can kind of like make its way into the dream space. And practice daydreaming. And again, join in. Like, okay, quick plug, we got our team meditations Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those meditations are places where we go and we practice flexing our imagination. And then what you can do is you practice flexing that imagination, both within just kind of waking everyday consciousness, but as you're falling asleep, and you can actually kind of like shape the dream as you're moving into it. But again, we'll talk more about that in another broadcast. Chris, when you're ready, go ahead.
Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for an amazing broadcast. Just to wrap up, I just wanted to touch on something. Curtis said consciousness is all that is around you. And Brendon said dreams are like a soul playground. Now, the ego thinks that we are separate, but we are not separate. We are all individual parts of one great soul having an individual experience. We are all connected to the all that is. Now, this includes other entities, other souls, departed loved ones, angels, guides. They're all the same stuff that you are, just in a different form. That is why dreams serve as such an amazing place and a reminder of our multidimensional nature, and that we are truly not bound by the 3D physical. And when we dream, we are able to explore more of the all that is within you and without of you. And yeah, happy dreaming, everyone. Namaste.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Beautifully said. And absolutely, again, just kind of hitting on that, like, yeah, like it's all you, man. Like, it's all us. It's all that. It's all Baby Yoda. We're all inside Baby Yoda's dream right now. That's my bet on all this. So anyways, okay, just passing it around. Who wants to go next? Just quickly put your hand up before we Fiona, pass it over to you when you're ready. Fiona, go right ahead.
Hey guys, so thank you so much for tonight. It was such an amazing experience. I always love this. It's so activating. So thank you. One thing that I did want to touch on before we go are nightmares, really, really quick. A lot of people on my page have spoken about nightmares and what to do when they're being attacked. And personally, I've had some really dark nightmares, and psychic protection is key here, like protecting yourself with a white light before you go to bed. Prayer, like Kristen said, like Brendon said, intention before you sleep is everything. So if you're feeling attacked in your dreams, and if you're going through really dark nightmares, intention to be protected and to know that you are a being of love and light, that will protect you, because the more you reinforce your deep love that lies within you, the more you become that love. So affirmations, intention before bed is everything to protect from psychic attacks. So yeah, thank you.
Beautiful. Awesome, Fiona. And Fiona, any other quick tips for the people out there who are maybe just getting started, or anything else if you feel called?
For dreaming or anything?
Spiritual journey, dreaming, yeah. Hand in hand.
Yeah, I think dreams are huge messages. Every single night is an opportunity to become conscious in the astral realm, just as every single day is an opportunity to be conscious, you know? So the more we can practice being awake here, the more you will awaken tonight. So I'm sure all of us are going to have crazy dreams tonight because we've been so like present, right? So just try to be present in every moment. That is what it is to be conscious, being present. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Fiona. All right. Next person who wants to, did you want to go next? Jennifer? Did Jennifer? Sure. Okay. Then we'll pass it to Curtis after that. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, I just want to say thank you for everyone who shared tonight, because I think it's really powerful that we can come together and share our experiences. I don't remember who it was, but they mentioned that that's all we do have is our experiences. You can't be living on someone else's journey or their experiences. In my practice, I only talk about what I know and experience, because I don't know anything else for a fact. I know what I've experienced for a fact, and I can't, without a doubt, tell someone what someone else said with a clear conscience, knowing that I hadn't experienced it. So, a really cool thing was the intentions that you set are so key, because I was really having a time with this one client, and I knew that everything that I said to him was, I just wish that I had recorded it, because it was so channeled. Every time that I spoke with him, it was channeled, and I couldn't get this breakthrough. Like, he kept asking me about something, and I just couldn't get to it. And it was revealed to me in my dream, and I realized that the reason why I was so close to him was because he was my son in a previous life, in like Mayan times. And it was really, really cool, because a lot of our answers does come from dream space. So if you do have that intention to any question that you have for your higher self, or any one else that you think is separate from you, then go ahead and put that intention in there, because you will receive the answers. And yes, be patient. And thank you all so much. And I will see you in the dream space. I've been there. I mentioned in the chat that I saw, like, I keep the dream journal, and like 2 days before I heard the first team podcast where we met around the dream tree, I had dreamed that we were all, with our hands up to the air, and just around the circle, and we're all just loving and just celebrating life. I don't know if it was a solstice or what was going on, but it was just amazing. And it was so cool when you get that realization, yes, I was already there, and that's what brought me here. And now I get to experience that cool synchronicity of being in the tree, by the tree, and celebrating with all you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. That's so cool to hear, Jennifer. Thank you so much for sharing again. It's just like, and it makes you wonder again, between Carley's dreams and Jennifer's dreams and anybody else's dreams. It's like how many people are like already dreaming about the dream tree before they've even tuned into our broadcast and stuff like that. I'm sure it's happening. So, all right, team. Again, if for anybody who's sharing here, again, just be mindful. Relatively short and sweet as we get close to wrapping it up here, and then we'll get into our closing meditation. Curtis, go right ahead, passing it over to you, dude.
All right, so this is a message for everyone. If you're nervous to come up and talk and stuff, all of this is like synchronized, and right now what I'm about to say is synchronized with Jennifer's experience with this spaceship, the invisible spaceship, because I've actually dreamed of this thing, but then all of a sudden it went solid around me, and there's lights on and all these people were in this ship, and then it hit me. I had visualized the ship flying over the dream tree, like it was a giant dome shaped ship. And y'all don't give up on this part of you that's from another place, that is all home. It's from home. And yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Curtis, for sharing. Yeah, and again, that's interesting. Like, and again, that's something like we didn't dive into in this one. We've dived into it in the past, but it's like, yeah, all this talk about like aliens and all that, OUs, other us's. It's like contact is happening in the dream space. It's one of the places. But we'll talk more about that another time. All right, who wanted to go next? And again, it like not everyone has to say anything. You guys have already shared, but if you do feel called, just add in some closing gratitude or anything like that. Please feel free. Anybody else? If not, Justine. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Justine.
This is really short and sweet. I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone here tonight for holding space. Where I felt like I could share, like, hey, I've had these like intense clairvoyant dreams that are extremely vivid and detailed and like predictive and helpful my entire life. And you weren't just like, send her to an asylum, Much appreciated. I have so much love for all of you, soul family, and just incredible gratitude for this space. It feels, I'm like one of those people who I pretty much never feel like I have a home, but recently coming to these Thursday meetings has felt like home, and I just infinite gratitude to all of you.
Thank you, Justine. Happy to have you here amongst our very special, wacky, crazy, beautiful, magical family. That's what we got here. It's like someone needs to write like a sitcom it's like the Shifter Tribe. We're going through dream space. We're saving the world. We're shining our light, and we're talking about weird things until 2 a.m. in the morning, until we fall asleep at night, and then we wake up and do meditation again. Anyways, guys, I'm getting tired, obviously. Nonetheless, let's get closer to wrapping this up, which is perfect, right? It's like all this is just prepping us to. It's like either two things are going to happen. You're either going to fall asleep right after listening to this, or you're going to be wired and stay up till like 1:30 in the morning. So it's one or the other. Anyways, all right. Any just last call for anybody else if you guys feel like you want to just be able to share any quick closing thoughts. Otherwise, we'll get right into our closing meditation. Okay. All right, okay, let's do that. Let's get right into our closing meditation. Thank you again, everyone. So with that said, just creating a little bit of context, inviting you guys just to be able to get nice and ready, set your space. You could do this while laying down. I'm not doing this for you to fall asleep to, but if you feel like you want to lay down, that's okay. Otherwise, I would encourage you to sit up. For those of you who are tuned in, if you guys even want to just like turn your cameras off, you guys can do that. That's totally fine. So the context here, this has been a meditation that we've actually done at the end of every dream class. And again, this is going back to 2016 that we've been doing this. And now it's like becoming like more and more vivid, more and more visceral. The basic story here for this meditation, what we're going to do, we're going to kind of visualize us just kind of like imagining this light through our body and moving this light through our body. This is just standard thing. It's calibrating our body. Again, going back to even what Fiona was saying, you can think of this as like a form of just kind of like bringing white light, protection, safety. Not even saying that's how you have to focus on it, but at the very least, it does that secondary. And again, just kind of be able to relax our body nonetheless. Then from there, what we are going to do, we are going to go right to imagining ourselves moving towards the life tree, the dream tree. For those of you who have tuned into the past broadcast, to our Friday meditations, which again, we literally, for those of you who feel really eager, join in tomorrow, Friday at 10 a.m. and we'll have another meditation. We'll go right back there. But again, this is the life tree. This is a very beautiful, magical tree. It's like crystalline. It's like iridescent. It has an aura, a pulse to it. This tree is a place where we gather as community within the dream space, within like this meditative space. And so what we're going to do, we're going to imagine ourselves floating to this space. And then what we're going to do is that individually, you're going to kind of imagine yourself just kind of like going around the tree and connecting with the tree. And you're basically just going to take a moment where we're basically just going to be like hugging the tree for a little bit. And what you're doing here is you're pouring your intention, you're pouring your love into the tree. You're also receiving the energy from the tree. And again, what this does is it kind of like solidifies and crystallizes this tree into a shared reality. And also what you're doing is you're creating the narrative. So this is a very simple meditation that you can return to as you're falling asleep by yourself on your own. So you can just imagine it's like, okay, I'm falling asleep. Okay, I'm floating towards the dream tree. There's the dream tree and I'm familiar with it and it's developing this relation. So that's the key thing. It's the relationship that you're developing with the tree. And the tree, again, is like the tree that connects to like the spirit of Mother Earth. It has its consciousness to it. It has a heart to it. So that's very basic. So if you guys are ready for that, go ahead, drop an 1111 in the chat if you guys are tuned in on YouTube still. And with that said, we're going to get right into this. So adjusting any lights as you need be. Beautiful. Awesome. And feel free to grab any crystals if you guys want any crystals. And if you guys want, you can imagine like the paradigm shift sigil like floating above the tree if you want to be able to imagine that. So okay, so with that said, thank you again everyone for being here. This is practice. You are seen, you are safe, you are heard, you are loved. Thank you for showing up. When you're ready, gently close your eyes. With your eyes closed, slowly begin to bring awareness to your breath as you listen to my voice. Gentle inhales and soft, gentle exhales. Finding a natural rhythm, feeling the moment that the inhale meets the exhale, when the exhale meets the inhale. With each exhale, just giving your body, your nervous system permission to relax. Straighten up your posture if you wish. Open up your chest, relax your face, relax your shoulders. Continuing to breathe here, allowing ourselves to just imagine this light at the center of our chest. This light can be a white light, a gold light, a blue light, a purple light. Doesn't matter, whatever you choose. Visualizing this light moving through our body. And as it moves through our body, giving permission to those parts of the body to gently relax. Feeling this light swiftly move through our chest, through our shoulders, down through our arms, all the way to our fingers, consciously giving permission to those parts of the body to relax. Visualizing and feeling and imagining this light moving down through your torso, through your ribs, your hips, your groin, down through your legs, all the way down past your knees, right to your toes, giving permission for those parts of the body to relax as well. Feeling this energy moving up through the back, all the way up through your shoulders, your neck, right through the face and to the top of the head. And just visualizing as you give your body permission to relax, this energy, this beautiful light within you and around you, strengthening your aura, protecting you, illuminating you, and just feeling this gratitude in this moment. Even if you want to put your hands on your heart, you can kind of put them there and move them around during the meditation, whatever you feel called, but just taking a moment here to reflect in gratitude. Gratitude for the team, gratitude for yourself, gratitude for this space. And from here, gently breathing, we're going to imagine ourselves standing in a field, going right to the location of the dream tree, seeing the dream tree at a distance, standing there with our feet in the grass, and take a moment here to bring as much detail as you can to the textures of this reality. Feeling the dirt and the grass beneath your bare feet. The grass is long enough that you can even touch it with your hands. And you look in the distance and you see this beautiful tree, this iridescent tree, and you can see people already gathered at it. You can even see like different elementals, fairy folk, orbs. And you look up in the sky and you see the sky is very dreamlike. It looks like nebula. It's like daytime and nighttime at the same time. And above the tree, you can imagine the paradigm shift sigil. This is basically like a star compass, and it just kind of sends out a pulse in all directions, a beacon. And in this moment, what we're going to do is we're gently going to float our way to this tree. So in this moment, as if you are in a dream right now, imagine releasing the notion of gravity. If you think you can fly, you can fly. Feeling this body gently levitating in this moment. And in this moment, almost guiding yourself from a single point within your being. You can imagine navigating from the single point of light at the center of your chest, or maybe that single point of light is in the center of your forehead, your third eye. And gently, in a very natural way, just floating towards the dream tree. And as you do this, you see people gathered around, people already just kind of doing their own thing, people sharing in conversation, some people dancing, making art, practicing like element bending, martial arts, seeing people giving each other massage, all sorts of things. Very much just a very friendly festival community vibe. And in this moment, allow yourself to imagine your own private moment with this tree as you walk up to the tree and you see its branches high above you. And as you do this, pay attention to the exact moment that you make contact with the tree. And so gently, as you're landing on the ground, if you haven't already yet, walking towards it, looking up in awe of this tree, holding gratitude in your heart, slowly bring your hand up to the tree and pay attention to the exact moment you touch it and feel the texture of its bark. Do that when you're ready. And as you do this, you feel this connection in the same way you would if you were touching another human being, feeling this life force. And in this moment, just allowing yourself to connect to this tree in a way that feels natural for you. Just inviting in this deep presence, and even if you want, just imagining even like hugging the tree. And as you do this, just imagine yourself kind of closing your eyes within your imagination. But as you do this, you can still see the tree. You can see the energy of the tree. And so you see the energy of the tree, almost like the skeleton, the energetic skeleton of the tree, the tendrils of the tree, the nerves of the tree, these like golden nerves, these roots within the roots. And you can imagine and you can feel this energy reaching into the ground far below you and reaching into the sky high above you. And as you do this, I want you to just take a few moments here to just be able to express your gratitude for the tree and just develop this relationship with it. And as you do this, just feel its love being sent back to you. And so just breathing here. We're not going to be here for too long right now, but again, allowing this to be a very simple scenario that you can play out within your imagination, allowing yourself to become familiar. And as you breathe, allow your breath to bring life into this tree, allow it to crystallize it, allow it to become more and more real, not just for yourself, but for others. Building a pathway and a bridge back to this space through the emotional connection that you're creating through your heart. So take a few moments here. I'm going to stop talking and just allow yourself to be connected with this tree that connects to the heart of Gaia, to the heavens above, to the many corners of all realms. This life tree, this magical tree, this tree that has always been a part of you. Speak to it. Speak to it with gratitude and allow it to speak to you. Don't think too hard. Just allow yourself to have this conversation within your heart And at the very least, just allow yourself to be present in your breath. Do this. Imagine with as much detail, as much texture, feeling any energy tingling sensations up the spine, feeling in this presence of love, just being in this ocean of love right now. Be here for the next few moments. I'll stop talking and we'll return back and we'll conclude the meditation. Feeling this love, feeling this breath, connecting to this tree. Go ahead and continue this part of your meditation. Gently continuing to breathe here, knowing that you'll be able to return back to this space and stay here as long as you want later on within your own practice as well. Take one more moment as you, in this practice, imagine yourself turning. So gently, when you're ready, gently kind of like release the hug, but then position yourself so that you're sitting with your spine against the tree, and now you're looking out in the direction of the people around the tree. So you align your spine with the tree, so the tree trunk becomes like an extension of your spine. I'm going to take a few moments here to just kind of bring in the awareness of the space around you, any details, seeing the people, feeling the energy, recognizing the souls of those who are here in this broadcast, seeing them here in this space, each person kind of doing their own thing. Like right now, you're just like sitting under the tree by yourself. That's okay. Like all of us are kind of in our own pocket of time right now. It's okay. But in this moment, just you under the tree, taking another opportunity to look up and see all the branches, these beautiful crystalline colors. And as you breathe here, feeling your rhythm synchronize with the tree, continue to connect in this moment. And I'm going to stop talking just for a brief bit, and the tree's going to say something to you. It has something very special to say to you. And within this message, whatever it may be, there's going to be something very specific, like even just like one sentence, maybe even one word. And this word is going to stay with you. And after this, you're going to write down whatever this word is that comes to you. And that's going to be something that will help you bring yourself back to this moment. And next time you're falling asleep, you're going to think of that phrase or that word. And it's going to help bring you back to the emotional presence of this moment, of this joy, of this community, of this love. Feeling as if right now you're already in the dream space. So go ahead. I'm going to stop talking. The tree has something important to say to you. Allow yourself to listen. Open your heart. Be here for the next few moments. Go ahead. Gently put your hands on your chest, your hands on your heart if they aren't already there. Just take a few more moments. I'm going to stop talking again, and I want you to just kind of, whatever message came through, or maybe that message is still coming through, I want you to just kind of repeat it like at least like 3 times, encode it into your heart. Go ahead, do that now. Beautiful. Moving closer to concluding this simple but powerful meditation, deepening your connection with this tree, with this community, with this story. If you feel called, you can either keep continuing to sit at the tree, or you can imagine yourself gently standing up and saying hello to the other people here at this space, walking around and giving some hugs, greeting people, telling them how happy you are to see them here, how excited you are to be able to return back here within the dream space, setting that intention. You're even welcome to see me somewhere amongst the crowd, and if you want to come up and give me a hug, I welcome it. And just feeling the palpable energy of this space, again, even just going back to the feeling of the past meditations we have done here, so much history and so much future in this one moment. Can you feel it? Can you remember the future? Maybe you can. It's in your heart. As we move into the concluding parts of this meditation, finishing it by gently returning back to sitting down at the tree when you're ready, with your spine against it, and now you're just a little bit taller. Even physically straighten your posture right now. You probably slouched a bit without realizing. Straighten your posture just a little bit. And feeling, again, this deep mythos inside of you, this mythos, this story of the shifters, of the light guardians, of the stewards, the dreamers awakening within this dream. Your love is our love. As we get ready to conclude this part of the meditation, we'll slowly begin to bring awareness back to our physical body. Take one more moment here. Take a picture of this in your mind. Save it to your heart. Something that is so vivid that you could literally just like draw it or paint it, or just allow yourself to keep it as a memory, equally as real as anything else. And then give yourself permission to look at it, to load it up, and to return to it as you're falling asleep, and setting that intention to be there again within dream space and future meditation. Thanking the tree, thanking yourself, feeling the love in this moment, feeling the voice of the tree within your heart. When you are ready, slowly from here, we're going to gently bring our awareness back to our physical body, and we're going to keep this feeling within our heart, and it's going to carry with us beyond this moment, beyond this day. It's going to be a path that will lead us back to this space, a seed that's been planted, an intention that's been created before us. Thanking the tree one more time, thanking the community, thanking yourself, thanking anything else you feel called to thank. Putting a gentle smile on your face if you feel called, and a smile in your heart. When you are ready, slowly begin to bring awareness back to your physical body, knowing that within your imagination, a part of you will continue to be here at the dream tree, and you will be able to return there at your will. And so when you're ready, as you continue to breathe, gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, slowly bring your awareness back to your physical body. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and return your awareness to the space around you. Beautiful. Good job, everyone. Wonderful. Wonderful to see everybody's smiling face back once again. Awesome. We'll take a moment here, just kind of pass the talk and stick around the circle. I'd love to just hear how that was for you guys. Any particular visuals, feelings, even in particular, what was like the phrase that came to you? For those of you in the YouTube chat, please feel free to leave that in the chat. Please feel free to let us know. If anybody else, if you feel called to share, that's up to you. The phrase that I brought forth, was the phrase that I weaved it into what I said there. Your love is our love. Your love is our love. Your love is our love. And so that's for me in that moment, I'm like, oh, it's a very powerful phrase, because your and our is not specific to any one person. Your could be the group. Our could be the collective. So good night, Fiona. All right, team. So we're just going to go around one more time for anybody who would like to be able to share any closing, just like thoughts on how that meditation was for you, and just any closing gratitude as well. And then we'll officially call it a night and go to sleep. So if anybody wants to share real quick, just go ahead and put your fingers up. And again, otherwise that's totally cool. We'll get close to wrapping up in a minute either way. Kristen, go ahead. How was that for you, Kristen?
Oh my goodness, that was so beautiful. So it was really interesting. I've been to the tree numerous times, but this time it was like I decided to just lay on top of the tree, and it kind of engulfed me in this golden light and just surrounded me with just pure love. So that was absolutely beautiful. And the message that I got was just be yourself. You don't have to try so hard. That song kept playing through my head. Was I'll think of it later and share it with you guys, but just be yourself and you don't have to try so hard. So, and just all the love for everybody. So much love. Thank you all.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. It's beautiful, wonderful. And again, I love just like for those of you who may be new, again, I'm sure it's going to be unique to you, but for those who have been like going back to the dream tree, it's like, oh, this is like a narrative that's unfolding across like multiple visitations. So cool. Anybody else, if you feel called to share? Kira, we'll pass over to Kira when you're ready. Kira, go ahead.
It's crazy. Like one of the first things I saw was when we were visualizing like the tree. It was like I could see like right inside of the tree, and it was just like it was like a golden spine, and it was just like these little golden branches that were like coming like right out of it, and it was just so beautiful. And the message I received, it was more like words, and I like 4 words. It was strength, guidance, priority, and dedication. That was like all I heard, and I was like, okay. But it was like the most beautiful part for me was just seeing like the branches, it was so golden and it was so light, and the way that we're closing it off was just so peaceful. And it was just like once you just open your eyes and saw like the image in your brain, it was just so calming, and it was like serenity all in one place with a whole bunch of amazing people. So I thank you for letting me be a part of this. This was really nice, and I really enjoyed it.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, Kira. Yeah, no, I definitely if someone can paint that, this like, again, kind of like this tree with this like golden roots within the tree, like that's kind of like, it's like the nerves, like that's what I was seeing
literally. And it was like right under, you could see it like under the tree, like above it. It was like, wow.
Yeah, like the tendrils, the energetic tendrils of it.
Absolutely.
I really have to, and that's the thing, right? Like,
that I have.
Oh yeah, please by all means. Sorry, who is that's Ashley? Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Ashley, we can pass it to you next if you want me to pass it to you next.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashley. Yeah.
I don't know, it's just really a positive affirmation of this tree that I've been seeing for my whole life, kind of flowing into this one moment, and kind of just being, again, present in that moment and embracing that feeling of like light and love in that. So it's pretty powerful.
Beautiful. Awesome. And so you said you have a painting that kind of like reflects what we're visualizing there. Similar.
Like very similar.
Well, cool. Awesome. I look forward to seeing it when the time comes. That's awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Beautiful. All right. And again, team, like for those of you who may be new to these podcasts and anything like that, again, like we didn't say this right at the beginning, it wasn't explicit, but I guess it's obvious just from the experience. These podcasts are designed to, again, like fill your spiritual battery, you know, to open your heart. And thank you to everyone for leaving your comments on all platforms as well. I'm seeing some comments even on TikTok. They're just like, yeah, like one of the comments is thank you for your words and wisdom and guidance, and thank you for helping open my heart. So thank you Mary, for leaving that in TikTok as well. Definitely feeling the heart. And just going to read some of the comments on YouTube as well when I asked. And for anybody else, did anybody else just a quick closing experience from the meditation before we wrap it up? Chris, you didn't want to jump in with anything? No, it's up to you. No.
I just heard the word rainbow. I just heard
rainbow. I like it.
And I'm just being. I said everything I had to say today.
Thank you, dude. All right, okay. Well, like I said, I'm just going to read the comments on the YouTube, and if there's anybody else who wants to jump in real quick, but other than that, we're about to just hit the outro button. So, Aura's word, and Fiona, Aura, they just jumped out a moment ago, but their word was clarity. And Chris, yeah, the word was rainbow. Peel says pillar of light, and my name is Pillar, so that was my validation. Beautiful, Peels. Stover says, I love this team. I'm just gonna say thank you, Stover. Justine says, the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. Awesome, beautiful. Thank you, Justine. Not having this says, you're mine. Ooh, powerful. Joshua says, find the time. Beautiful. Tessia says, mine was remember. Lisa says, love. Brendon says, peace. Beautiful. Awesome. All right, team. Anybody else? If it just like relative to the Curtis, go ahead. And then Carley, and just double checking. Anybody else before we wrap it up? Okay. All right, go. Yeah, go. Sorry, go ahead, Chris. Yeah.
Do with a meditation I want to do later on. It's called the Rainbow Bridge meditation. That's gonna be something I really want to do. Hopefully, we can later on work that out. But I'm practicing it right now, so yeah. Rainbow was a good word, and the word that came to me was I am you, you are me. That was the phrase.
Beautiful. Awesome. Powerful. Wonderful. Thank you, Curtis. Yeah, like it's I remember even years ago when I was like getting into this stuff, I'm like, because I was always like, I'm like guys, like I think we're just trees. Like I think we're trees. Like I think we're like literally trees that are humans. And so I'm like, if I could be that guy who just like helps remind people that we're trees, then that's my job. That's my destiny. So yeah. Jennifer, go ahead.
I just wanted to say something really quick to what you just said about everybody being trees. Thought it was really cool a long time ago. I had never told anyone, like they wanted to know what their past life was, and I swear to you, I was like, I don't want to say this, but a tree. You were a tree. And I'd never seen that. This girl, I kid you not, takes a book out of her bag and shows me that she had drawn this tree with she's swaying in the breeze and all this. It just really cool how that resonated.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, no, I like maybe that's a thing, right? Maybe all of us have been trees.
I think it's the fairy realm.
I think so. Chris is getting excited. Is that Chris agrees? No, I think so. Seriously, trees, because that's the thing, man. Like trees are like sentient, like neural guardians or something. Like they're freaking awesome, man. They're awesome. So yeah, for those of you who are still waking up to kind of spirituality, seriously, like go sit in front of a tree and just ask it what it has to teach you. Like that's it. And just look at it, and eventually you'll be like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to see it. So many lessons from the trees themselves. So okay, team, last call for anybody else before we conclude this broadcast and go to sleep, I think. Oh, sorry, Carley. Okay, Carley, when you're ready, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. Tonight was so great, and that meditation, so powerful. So it was just when you said the compass with the star in it, I didn't even recognize, like, that is what I've been drawing during every time we've like come together. Like even when I first had meditation with Brianna, Breezy, it was like I just started drawing it, and it was like this. It was just like mind blowing when you said that. Other than that, it was just so calming, so nice to just connect around the tree and feel like rested back there and just so at peace. I definitely need this this energy back in my life. So really grateful for
That's
everyone.
beautiful.
That's what I got.
Awesome. Thank you, Carly. Carly, just it doesn't have to be right now. Do you have the sketch of what you're drawing? I'm curious to see how similar it is to the paradigm shift sigil. So and again, like the paradigm shift sigil, for those of you on YouTube, that's the sigil. I just pulled up the graphic for those of you on YouTube. So again, like that's like the sigil that's been a part of this project for since the beginning of it. And yeah, it's like a star compass type thing. But yeah, if Carly has something there, we'll just see. Yeah, that's basically the paradigm shift sigil. That's like very similar to it. Yeah. No, it makes sense, man. Like that sigil is still like revealing itself over time, but I think if it's showing up in other people's meditations and stuff like that, then that's fascinating. Carly, thank you for sharing that. That means a lot just to be able to see that. Beautiful. All right, team. Last call. If we're ready to wrap it up, then I think we're there. So we did it. Okay, we did it, team. We did it. We made it all the way to the end. So, and did we? How long? That wasn't 2.5 hours. I'll say that, but. We tried damn hard to get under. Anyways, team, nonetheless, thank you guys so much again for joining in and for being a part of this beautiful, amazing community. And again, we'll be back for future Dream Class podcasts. Again, we usually do the Dream Class at least like maybe like every 2 months or so. But again, we got lots more podcasts coming your way every Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. And if you're listening to this before September 17th, then tune in for September 17th. And that's going to be our next podcast on the magic and mystery of the Fae. So that's going to be a very, very exciting one. So everyone start getting your notes ready, start find me stories, find stories we can tell on air, bring dream, maybe who's going to dream about the Fae between now and next week? Set that intention. I'd love to be able to hear it. So that's going to be a great one. So again, just closing notes. Thank you again, everybody, for those of you in the YouTube, for those of you listening afterwards. If you guys enjoyed this, if this is your first time here, be sure to connect further with the community. You are invited to join our team chat. That's our Discord server. The link for that is in the YouTube info. You can find that at tinyurl.com/shift team chat. And you can also, again, support on Patreon with a monthly contribution. And you can find the Patreon link at patreon.com/Brendon Culleton. If you join at the $11 level, that's where you can join as a leading member, which gives you access to all of our private community benefits and also the ability to join on air for these weekly team podcasts that we do, which are incredibly valuable and again are made possible thanks to our Patreon supporters. And again, be sure to connect to the links in the YouTube info if they're not already there, for all the links to all the other creators who are featured on this broadcast. And you can also find the MP3s at Paradigm Shift Radio on iTunes. And again, the link for that is in the YouTube info. And yeah, it's been a wonderful time. And go back and check out some past Dream Class episodes as well. And again, go get a dream journal if you haven't yet. Practice meditation, practice mindfulness, clean your goddamn room. Just gonna keep going back to that. Anyways, sorry. Keep it clean. That's the important thing, right? Because again, it's not just like it's like clean room, clean mind type thing. It's a holographic thing. But again, and yeah, keep an open mind and keep an open heart, and there's plenty more magic coming your way. So beautiful. All right, team. My name is Mystic Spider-Man Skull Babylon. On behalf of myself and all the other Light Guardians, streamers, and shifters, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Guys, go ahead, gently unmute your microphones, and let's send some love out to all the amazing people as we get ready to play the outro music and wrap up the show. So everybody here, go ahead, send some noise, make some love. See you at the Dream Tree, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Awesome. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, keep it shifty, and we will see you in the future. And welcome to the future. All right. Good night, everyone. Dream well. See you at the Dream Tree.
See you guys. My dreams.
See you in my dreams. Love it.
Good night, everyone. It's time for me to sleep before work.
special thank you to Danny Leonardo, whose music is featured at the beginning and end of this podcast. Be sure to check out more of Danny's work in the YouTube info below. Thank you, Danny.